Oh, welcome to the Nurse and Nerd. I am one half your sister nurse. So we talk about dating, relationship, and marriage from a married perspective. Today, as you guys see, we're going to go into some very deep, dark situations where this is the cheating special, pretty much starring the pastors. So let's get into messy marriage. And this right here is a key component lesson for every single one of us. This is not a moment of we gotcha. This isn't a moment of, oh, let's gossip about it. No one, listen, we're all adults. People are out here living whatever version of their lives is. It's not something to, again, it's not something to laugh about, especially these two pastors. They do have families. Although they didn't think about those families, I definitely want to be as respectful to make sure that we use those families, the children that they have, as the number one priority outside of, not saying something even more salacious, but in reality, this again is a lesson for everyone because this is not a conversation about, well, we're all sitting in glass houses. Let's throw rocks at these folks. No, it's a moment of clarity. Again, it's a moment of lesson building because there's so many of you guys right now. There's so many messages that you guys are getting where it's a state of emergency. If you do not get married in the next 24 hours, it's as if though it's the purge. Within the next 24 hours, if you don't get married, it's going to be the end all. It's going to be doomsday if it doesn't happen. But in reality, this is so that we can connect and talk to you and ask you what version of your life, what version of a marriage, if that is your goal, that you actually want. Because again, there's so many that are throwing the alarm bells that it's just an emergency. Meanwhile, they're not even showing you their version of what their life looks like, or if they're even married, which most of the time they're not even married. So again, the question is for you. You're the one that's being challenged to get these marriages overnight. You're the one that's being challenged that you need to turn into a robot in order to get that person to solidify you, give you that ring, give you the last name, or whatever it is. So I really want you, we are challenging you to look at yourself and ask yourself, take away the other person, take away the rules and the 19,000 lessons that folks are telling you need to be when they're normally not that. But I really want you to look at yourself and not wonder, but ask yourself, what version, if marriage is your goal, do you actually want? Because these both family members, both of them are pastors. This again is a huge lesson that we all can learn from because so many of us are standing outside saying that we want this, we want that, because so many people are, like I said, it's like a performance of a race about who can get to the devil's den the fastest. Remember, the devil's still inside that den. So need to make sure you're mindful. Who are you signing contracts with? Because again, at the end of the day, as I stated, with this community, there will be no support there as far as the community as a whole. Of course, you do have great family members and great friends, but make it be known. You're going to rush into the devil's den. You're the only person that's going to be sitting there getting fire spewed at you. And then the rest of the world is going to stand outside of the den and say, well, you should have known better. So let's get into some things. So the first conversation that we're going to have today, again, I really appreciate you guys for checking us out here on the Nurse and Nerd, and make sure you hit that like button if you find that this video was very helpful in your thought process of what marriage is going to look like for you if that's your goal. So the first pastor that we're going to talk about is Pastor Dwayne Dawkins. So I'm going to be sharing a video of actually, I want to share a screenshot of what I'm not sure. I think the video of him had been out for like 2 weeks or so, and the conversation. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he was found with the OnlyFan star, a male OnlyFan star, and at this point in life, listen, a male OnlyFan star, a man, same, a woman and a woman, same gender loving situations. I would imagine that we all kind of know about. Sorry. We all are adults at this point. Everyone knows they're same gender loving. Everyone is living the best life that's for them because love is love and that's it. That wasn't the surprising thing to me. What was shocking to me is the fact that at the end of the day, we're always honing in this emergency meeting of marriages that need to be done. But it was shocking to hear everything that transpired with this whole process, because although most of us, especially those that are wives, you're like, oh my gosh, you feel for that wife, you're sending out loves and everything like that. But we're going to get into some reality of a lot of things that, again, you're standing outside thinking that, oh my gosh, I just feel so bad. There are people that already have their charades set up, and remember, we're talking about consenting adults. We're not talking about children. We're not talking about young teenagers or whatever. These are grown adults. So let's start off the conversation piece. Here I have it to where Obnoxious Television live with William G. McCrae. I have placed all resources and references down below so you guys can see a lot of things. There's some things that I've learned about that I never even knew, as far as like ministries that were trying to pray out same loving out of people. Like, it's like what, like, very strange things, because again, love is love. There's no reason to be praying stuff away. Like, that's that person. So let's first start off by reading this together. Hold on. I have to get some water because this is a lot. This is a lot. So, obnoxious breaking news: everything's going down, but the word of the Almighty busted. Pastor, again, this is allegedly, Pastor Dwayne Dawkins of such and such has a triple situation with an OnlyFans model. And I did see the beginning of the video because I don't like to see other people do their things. But I did see, child, that's that man. Allegedly, okay? Allegedly. But literally the camera, I'm thinking the camera is like up in the air or somewhere where you won't know. The camera is literally like you looking at this, and then it's me looking back at you. I'm like, the only difference was he didn't have his glasses on, the glasses that he wears. So maybe he can come out and say, oh, it wasn't me because I wasn't wearing glasses. I'm not sure. Hold on. Sorry, maybe he can come on there and say, oh, it wasn't me because I wasn't wearing glasses. But sir, allegedly, based off of the beginning portion, sir, that allegedly, what I saw was, it looks like you with an OnlyFans person. Hey, Kimberly, really appreciate you for being here, bringing Obnoxious Television the story. Based upon our investigation, Pastor Dawkins, made the video with an amateur star in an area. Oh, and also too, talking about the video. Listen, like I said, I don't like to watch people, but I'm paying attention to everything else. I even think allegedly, I think it was inside of his marital home, because listening to the television that was in the background, the television was talking about like families and making sure that you look after families and stuff. It was like some kind of like prayer worshiper type of thing. The television was on something that was like very inspirational. Like, it wasn't on like, I was thinking Jodeci, like some kind of romantic mood music. No, it was like, actually, I'm like, listen to the TV in the background. Like, what is going on here? And again, like I said, the TV in the background was talking about like higher power stuff. So I'm like, what is going on here? But this was allegedly, it looked to me like the marital home. And also with the video too, there's a part where the person told the pastor, you need to hurry up because your wife is coming. And then that's when he really speeds up his portion, to where he speeds up because he knows, like, the person told him your wife is coming. So everyone in this process is in the know, and it goes to show that it seems the person that's the adult star, he has more respect for your wife than you do, because at least he's telling you to hurry it up because she's coming. Because you would just sit up there lollygagging and have the time of your life. Meanwhile, you're literally cheating on your wife. So get back to this. According to the reports we have received, the guy uploaded the video to his OnlyFans to find out that he had something with the man that was a pastor. The video was then taken down, but not before it had been screen recorded and passed around and landed in our hands. And it's still out there because it's still out there. And they've all tried to remove it. But again, when it goes down to the Reddit land and Twitter lands, stuff is still out there. Several attempts have been made to speak to Pastor Dawkins in effort to get his side of the story. However, and I'm going to give you guys a version of his side, and I believe that he finally came out and told the truth. And like I stated, you guys are going to be surprised, and you will be surprised to know the charades that everyone is participating in. FYI. However, it seems that he's ready to walk away from ministry and his wife and family out to come out of the closet. Now the pastor is very experienced, allegedly. Now the pastor is very experienced in having wild, raw with a male from watching the video. Rumors has it that says allegedly from Rumor has it says that he did not know the guy was an amateur person content creator. You all, it's graphic. It is very graphic. And again, the pastor was looking directly at the camera. If that's allegedly the pastor, the person was looking directly at the camera. There's nothing. Again, I'm not sure how you kind of spin it. Again, he can say that maybe it wasn't him because he wasn't wearing glasses. But sir, yeah. So what do you got? You will get a graphic with the same tongue that has been spoken on the unknown tongues in preaching the gospel, with went down deep in his partners. You see, I didn't see the rest. Like I said, I didn't see the whole video. I don't like to watch people. And he does oral and they go at it. Okay. Now that is not his first time taking a ride on the rodeo. We have discovered these are allegedly that there's other folks that are in the ministry had saved him once before, when the photos of him holding his when he was surfaced. His wife, reading this guy is awesome with his writing. His wife has not been in church for 2 years. And again, we're going to go into a large information about this whole thing. She hasn't physically been at the church allegedly in 2 years. And we are not even sure that they're still together in holy matrimony. Word is someone and his vlogger friend talked to him and the other bishops to try to reach a financial agreement to keep it all hush hush. Seems that they forgot about that one thing that invited this game, is that our duty to life is up to our voice like a trumpet in Zion. Cry loud and spare not. I'm sure you want to see these pastor is having. Plus, we have to get the male OnlyFans person side of the story. Why did the Ministry of Music quit the last week? It's all kind of stuff. So here is his information here where he talked about that. Now, we're going to follow up with what happened after this. Okay, I want to make sure you guys can see this. Okay, let me get this other screen up so that you guys can see the follow-up from here. And again, when he was writing this, when Mr. McCrae was writing this, when McCrae was sharing this, Obnoxious Television was sharing all this stuff. This was already March 19th. So the video had already been out for 2 weeks. Apparently TMZ had it. It's all kind of people that had it. So by the time I saw it, you already know it was really late and I was still able to find it. So obnoxious update. Everything is going down but the word of God. You ain't never say that. True, Kimberly, listen, Kimberly, take a moment with me. Don't just say it's sad, because in reality, we have to understand that these are adults that are consenting. And like I stated, we're going to get into the reality on everybody's aspect, because you're going to be surprised the charades that have been happening. And again, I am challenging everyone that is watching this video that's on this emergency marriage situation that needs to be happening in the next 24 hours. You need to be mindful of what type of lifestyle and marriage that you want for yourself, because not everyone else, but you just don't want to be an example of other folks. So obnoxious update. Everything's going down, but the word of God, as stated, Pastor Dawkins, Dwayne agreed to be agreed to be recorded. The amateur male, OnlyFans content creator based in Atlanta has confirmed. That would make sense. That's why he was looking directly at the camera, like literally directly at it. It seems the male performer said that he tried to be respectful and took the free clip off his Twitter, but left the full video on his OnlyFans page. He posted our post and informed his followers in a statement that all for you that thought was lying about the pastor. Not sure what could have been done going on the mid of Dwayne to agree to be recorded and show his entire face, which allegedly, if that's him, he did. Perhaps he wanted to come out of the closet, I'm sure I can say that, and sick of living two lives. However, he has a wife and children who will never live this down. A pastor having with an unknown male adult performer has made it clear that the guy knew Dwayne well, knew him well, and that he was married. So the adult performer knew that he was married. And also, too, this is another conversation. If you guys would like it, we could. Tasha K has done series where she talks to women that were spiritually married to these men that are legally married to other women. And those women are talking about, hey, that person didn't owe me anything. They owed their wife. So just that statement right there was, like I stated, it seemed that the male OnlyFans guy, he had more respect for the wife than the actual husband did. So if you guys want us to talk about it, we could definitely do we got reactions to it. He tells him that be better, you must hurry up, and you know why, because he has to get home to his wife as he pulls his hair and makes him arch his back and take all that he has to offer. Does he have a new calling, and what will become of the church? Members of the Obnoxious Street Committee will be in the building to see what goes down. What is devastated by all this and said that he has not come to any decision on how to approach the matter. There has been no word from Mike. A source said they spoke to Dwayne and he admitted he was willingly participating in whatever happens as a result. It just happens. No word if he plans to continue to pastor or not. He might have people that will continue to follow him in the day of anything goes, which is true. And nowadays, anything goes, anything goes. Assisting since Dwayne's moved to Atlanta, it seems to be a good connection after major fallout from he locked him and members out of the church. Okay, there's a lot going on over here. There's a lot of people's name I didn't want to include because it's not about them. It's about this pastor. So let's get back to this. Thank you so much, Obnoxious TV. Again, everything is linked down below where you guys can see real, more things. Okay, so we're going to play this video right here, and we're going to go into, again, you need to look at yourself and find out what type of marriage and lifestyle that you want for yourself, because everyone else out here can play a good charade, a good game. 99% of them not even legally married themselves and playing out this game, and then they're not pushing pressure on you, because again, everybody's an adult. You have an option of not listening to fools and idiots, which most of y'all do, or you have an option to stand up for yourself and make the decisions that you want for yourself. Because again, this is not a moment of saying, hee hee ha ha, look at this. These folks have families that, even though the pastors themselves didn't care about their families, we must be respectful of the families, and we must also be aware that at the end of the day, not everyone's life ends up like this. Not everyone is living in some kind of false lifestyle, living in the dark and whatever. Not everyone's doing that. There are a number of folks that are literally standing within their truths. They're out, they're living whatever version of their life is, and they're unapologetic. And those are the folks that I always give my utmost respect to, because I'd rather you tell the truth than you sitting around here acting as if though you're holier than thou, no pun intended, but you're acting as if though, oh, I can give you 19,000 reasons of ways that you should be this type of woman and you shouldn't be doing this and you should. Meanwhile, you around here doing the worst of worst. So shut it up. Again, this is not just about religious people. It's everyday folks. Anyone that's participating in triple lifestyles, because they normally are. So we're going to play this. And again, like I stated, this is not about marriage. Anyone can participate in whatever lifestyle, even if they're not married. Just make sure you are true to yourself. And by being true to yourself is living in your life truth, and also being true to yourself to know what you will not accept and what you will accept. But there's also a video I want to talk about what you will accept. There are some things that you shouldn't be telling folks, because it gives them a barometer of how much they can try you. And a lot of y'all give these predepositions about, you can do this and you can't do that. You're literally telling the person how much disrespect you'll take, and they already know what the threshold is. So you need to understand it's either you're going to participate in whatever lies or whatever foolishness y'all want to do, or you're just going to say, well, guess what? I'm going to block you and keep it moving forward. It was good while I know you, and go about my business. You have two options. So let's play this video now.
Sure.
Can you describe for us the state of marriage today?
Let me know if you can hear this.
Oh boy, well, it varies. I believe marriage is one of God's greatest ideas. It's not left for us to redefine or redescribe it. It's for us to really abide by the principles that He gave. I think the family institution is the only institution that embodies all others. So education, health, religion, that was God's initial intent, to have that to be the headquarters from where children and family members are able to glean and understand who they are in Christ and their identity. And the marriage is a symbol of Christ and the church, you know, being united as one, and then being a source of love and acceptance and safety and healing. The first
I really like what he stated there. Marriage is about safety, it's about love, it's about the community aspect. Because again, when life happens to anyone, and it doesn't have to be anything salacious. It doesn't have to be anything traumatizing. It doesn't have to be like you're going through all kind of battles and you're fighting the sins and you're fighting this. It don't have to be all that, okay? It's just life. You're going through I don't know, just going through life, whatever. But if you understand that if you have a community of family and friends where the loving is poured in there and you have a solid foundation with the person that you've married, because you were not a robot, you were not a representative, so that you can get that person on board so that they can finally give you that ring, so that you didn't do all this performative act in order to get that person. You will find that things are much more smoother because again, you're not putting on an act. So you can be much more relaxed and be around folks and really be able to get some solid advice if you ask, or solid information.
problem in the scripture was man was alone. And the first solution was a woman. And out of man came a man with a womb.
Now, this would have been problematic to me. Sitting next to him, and any man, would have told me, oh, a man took a woman and out of there was a womb in. That lets me know that was a red flag to me to say, okay, so you don't see me as a person, you just see me as a womb holder. So I'm a female. So outside of giving birth to children for you, that's all I'm good for. And then you could discard me and you can go ahead and participate and do whatever else you want to do. And again, this is not about it's not about being salacious, because like I stated, it's about a lot of folks are telling you to show up as a representative of someone else that is not you. And then when you're sitting up here doing this and you're sitting around someone else, both of you guys are doing this performative act, you're confused. Why did things end up in a catastrophe? Because when the person was sitting next to you, they said that you are a womb holder. You're a woman. You're only good for a womb.
Man. So here you have God's idea coming together in one. And I think the state of marriages today really depends on the foundation that each marriage is built on. It's very subjective.
There are a lot of people that want to know.
That was very true. Marriage is very subjective. It is completely based on each person's idea of where they want to be at, meaning each couple. So each couple is whatever version of their life that they're going to. Again, so many folks are sitting on here that are not even married. They want to go about and tell you, well, marriage is about this, marriage is about that. It depends on the person. Not everyone has that goal and that ending of what there is. And also, too, I don't know about you guys, but for most of us that are living in the real world, things change week by week, month by month. That's why you settle in and talk things through. Because I know a lot of times, a lot of folks tell you, especially being a woman, you're not supposed to be heard. You're just supposed to shut up and sit there and like a robot, just hand your womb over and that's all you're good for. Well, for those of you guys who want to be in healthy marriages, that's not how it works. So let's continue.
How do you have a successful marriage? What advice would you give them?
I really believe it might sound like something that's over spiritual, but it's really about depending on God, and trusting in the Lord. Why? Because it's something that He built. It's something that He created. So why not go back to the Creator for the instructions when it comes to marriage? So for me personally, for us personally, I believe that it's about us consistently cultivating our relationship with the Lord so that we can come together. If He's in the midst, then we can trust Him to keep us together as one. So it's all about depending on the Spirit of God to be able to lead us and guide us in that time of marriage.
That sounds very...
Okay, so I'm not sure at that time. Actually, no. At that time, she wasn't a pastor. I'm I don't believe so, because say lady, it would have said pastor. So you're talking about a pastor, the husband. He knows very much about scriptures and things of that sort. And she is a pastor now. So I'm guessing that during this time she had already been studying, getting into prophecy and whatever she needs to get to in order to become a pastor. But there's something that they both seem to be keen on based off of the interview, is that they both are following the leadership of the Lord. They are both following whatever their religious belief is, and they're placing that as the head hold of their house. So that's their version of their marriage. So that's who they're going to follow for, again, their marriage. Not everyone else's marriage, just their marriage. Okay.
Very good. Now we have to do work on ourselves, on our own with the Creator,
Absolutely.
before we can bring ourselves to someone else
Hello.
and join in holy matrimony. Well, the divorce rates, I mean, we've read in news articles, are close to 50%, even in the body of Christ.
Yeah.
I thought that was so not profound, but it was great that the interviewer pointed that out. The marriage rates, it doesn't matter what religious background. At the end of the day, if you're talking about a specific community or a specific makeup group of folks, whatever the statistics are for those group of folks, that's what it is. It didn't matter whether or not the person was spiritual, not spiritual, if they had whatever amount of money that they paid for their wedding compared to the other amount. Whomever legally signed a documentation that stated that they were legally married, not for those that are spiritually and whatever type of stuff that they're doing. We're talking about legal marriage. And I would imagine if you added the spiritual folks, because the way that y'all be out here fighting for y'all existence, it would definitely be even more ridiculous. But we're talking about legal marriages. It is what it was at that time, what the stats were. So regardless, like I stated, religious background, everyone is participating in that divorce number. So when they are going to go into, put based off of their marriage about going into the religious aspect, also, I want you to take a quick keynote and say, hey, outside of, we all know the scriptures, if they're all very known in scriptures, and especially their pastors, they know the scripture and the Bible very, very well. What is it? The only thing I would think of that would cause these numbers to continue rising as they have is because the same way right now you all are participating in this emergency state of the union, needing a marriage by tomorrow. And then on top of that, folks are sharing this message of you need to show up as a representation, not being yourself, following these key terms about I just need you to be this, this, this. You participating in this robotic situation, no wonder why it's ending up in failure. No one is being their real authentic selves, because at the end of the day, if you give me the cheat code, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to do exactly what you say that you want, that you're looking for in a mate. And as soon as I get exactly what I'm looking for, I'm going to go back to being who I truly am. So be careful of all this stuff that you all are saying that that's what you want, because literally it's a complete replica of the same person that it was before. So it's like, okay, well, I'll just cheat and do whatever you tell me to do. As far as like cheating, getting the keyword. So if you're saying, hey, I want a woman or a man that does this, that, and the third, every single one of you guys on social media is saying that you guys want the same exact person. Everyone's a good guy, so they can't find a good woman. So make sure that you listen to what folks are telling you, because they could be regurgitating the same information that you've already been telling.
We're not doing much better.
Yes.
Why is that?
I think we're not being honest about some things. We're not allowing ourselves to be transparent enough so that we can really be healed. I'll give you an example. We have a kitchen in our church that was being repaired, and right before they put the walls up to seal, it rained. Oh, the rain revealed that there was a leak. Had we put the wall up, the rain would have happened, the leak would have continued, and we would have had issues behind a brand new kitchen wall. So before it was sealed, it had to be fixed. I think that there are a lot of people who are trying to get sealed, hitched, married before they get fixed.
Did you hear what he said? This was literally the most, like I said, okay, this is what I need to make sure that we get this. A lot of you guys are listening to these insane messages of insanity that are telling you you need to be A, B, C, and you're going to end up at D. Everyone is doing the same exact thing. You are not being your true, authentic self, and just exactly what he said it. It's not just this idea about, oh, there's a bunch of broken people. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but as human beings, no matter, even if your life was very, well-placed, you had a nuclear family, you had everything there, there's always some kind of down or something that someone's needing to learn from. Something is somewhere. So with that being said, even though you're hearing what he's saying, when you placing those two together, there was already a crack in the foundation. And again, everyone's marriage is completely different. There are some folks that are telling you that, oh, you can always do remodeling or rebuilding or something like that. There's like a bunch of books about rebuilding. How do you get after this turmoil that you guys have cheated, or this person been gambling, this person been a drug addict, and how do you revisit your marriage and rebuild? Everyone's idea of marriage is completely different, because I'm letting you know this. We do not believe in rebuilding anything. The only thing you can rebuild is a building. You can't rebuild people. That's as far as we're concerned within our marriage. Again, everyone has a different idea of what they have in marriage. So when you are walking around telling folks that, hey, as long as this person has this amount of money, they have freedom of choice. Everyone has choices. I should be more than okay in understanding that I'm going to have a choice and that person is going to end up cheating on me because that person has all this type of money. So yeah, remember, you're calling in these type of energies. So if you're calling on, I want the energy or the type of guy that has all these choices, I need you to make sure that the money that you're stating that that person has, and as long as they have that type of money, that they can have the choice of being with a plethora of other women or a plethora of other men, depending if this is a man or whatever. You need to make sure that the money that they have, the value that they have that's telling you will allow that choice of cheating and stuff, make sure that that money is going to be able to pay for your medical bills that you're going to need, not only the psychotherapy to be able to get you like somewhere normal version, but also the money that is going to be needed for the health insurance in order so that you can choose which HIV cocktail medication that's going to work for you. Because at the end of the day, a lot of you guys are calling on energy and spirits of folks to sit up here and sleep with 19,000 women and counting, sleep with 19,000 men and counting. And at the end of the day, regardless of the relationship being heterosexual, so if this is a man that's married to a woman, you're saying, oh, she has a choice and freedom as long as she has financial backing to be able to sleep with whatever man. I should expect that. Let it be known that you need to make sure you have the choices of the HIV medication that you need. Because a lot of you guys, like I stated, you guys are adults, and I don't understand why you're not using your brain that the good Lord has given us all. So when you're sitting up here repeating what everyone else is doing, meanwhile, those that did not fall in that pit hole that they're setting you up for, you're going to end up falling into it. So sit here, like I stated, look at yourself and realize, what is it that you, for yourself, what is it that you want to be as far as a husband or a wife? And what are you really looking for in that other person if marriage is your goal? Because like I stated, a lot of y'all are heading down devil's den, and y'all going to be burning in the devil's den, because the people that y'all are, I don't even understand. So let's continue off of this.
So when rain happens in life, which it's inevitable, the rain falls on the just and the unjust, that there will be leaks, but there's a lot of mold behind some people's beautiful faces. There's a lot of issues that go unresolved because in the church in particular, there's too much taboo. God talks very openly and more uncensored in the Bible about things than we do in the church.
That's right. Lady Tamia, speak about that.
Too much taboo. Remember this. I'm telling y'all, put a key frame on this.
Because I think a lot of people think they're ready for marriage and may not be. Have you seen that occur?
Absolutely. Being a pastor's wife, you have the opportunity for people to trust you, and they're very transparent with you because they believe that you have a relationship with God and you can keep their secrets, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But we see it all the time where you realize that people, they think that they're ready, but they're not ready. And it's our job as leaders to make sure that we're real with them, so to speak, letting them know that you can be ready, but these are the tools that you need to be able to become ready. We can't be shy about telling people the truth so that they can succeed in their marriage, because that's God's desire.
And also, too, remember, a marriage takes two people. I don't know what world you guys are living into, this fantasy world. It takes whatever version of marriage. So either same gender loving, it takes two women, or two men, or if it's heterosexual, it takes a woman and a man. That's what a marriage takes. It does not take a woman asking herself to get married. It doesn't take a woman turning into this whole robotic person and then thinking that you're going to end up getting married as soon as you're done with robotics class, because you've now morphed into this robot. You're not a person anymore. You need to understand, you cannot mold, well, you can cheat your way, but you can't mold yourself into someone else, because like I stated, yeah, you can cheat your way into becoming a robot for the person that you're thinking, because they're telling you that I want this, and you become that. but at the end of the day, it's gonna implode. Like, seriously.
For you just to confess your sins one to another. But it's important that after you confess whatever your issue is, that you then trust your spouse enough to listen to.
I don't know if you guys can hear this, but this was there was a clip that I took from, they actually counsel other folks that are in relationships and folks that are getting ready for marriage. So they do premarital counseling, which premarital counseling is not the same for everyone at all. If you guys want a story time about ours, it's very interesting. It is not the same like for most places. They do premarital counseling, they do marital counseling, and then they do some other kind of, they do some counseling for like I stated, a number of different folks that are in relationships. So these two are doing counseling.
When they see certain things come up that look like what you confess to them, and they warn you.
So that's them holding the couple in power and prayer.
We speak purity and prosperity.
Both pastors.
We speak strength over it. And others are being strengthened because of this marriage.
The Bible is an essential resource for me.
Okay, so now we're going to get into a part where I said, okay, hold on. Am I getting too ahead of myself? 1 second. I think I'm getting ahead of myself because, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Hold on. I'm like, this seems a little too smooth. So I'm going to get into this. There's something that he talks about here on this, what he talks about here, which is completely like, I'm like, whoa, he 1000% reveals it. Actually, let me play it while I'm getting this other stuff queued up.
I pull truths from it. I do my best to live my life according to it. There have been more misses than hits, but there's also room for that here too. It tells me how to recover from my misses and so on, and how to learn from them and to glean and to grow from it. So anyway, in John, Jesus says, you shall know the truth and the truth will set you free. My emphasis is on the freedom that comes with truth. Truth is synonymous with honesty. Honesty synonymous with authenticity. So that's where I got the idea of the freedom that we get from authenticity, from living authentic lives. There's levels of freedom that you can experience. When I consider authenticity, and I told you this is going to be somewhat healing for the soul because I'm going to pull this from my own personal transparent experience.
You guys can hear this, but he's saying that he's pulling this from his personal transparency. So he's talking about living in your authentic, true self. This, when I saw this, I said, bro, he's literally telling you everything that's on here. And we're, like I stated, do not be shocked, because it seems like, based off of some other information that he's going to discuss on this whole thing, everybody, I'm going to let you know, allegedly, based off of what I'm able to see, I believe the wife already knew about this stuff. This is nothing that surprised her. I believe that both of them, you know what? Let me finish this. Hold on. Let's finish this.
Anyone, I believe that there are times where we go through development. We go through processes in life that we are not always comfortable articulating. We're not always in circles and settings that make us feel secure in being vulnerable and just really articulating some of the things that we might be facing in our process. So that being said, it can be rather difficult for people to embrace full-fledged authenticity or honesty in terms of giving it. We love to receive it, but it takes another level of courage in order to give authenticity. The journey, when I realized that I have not arrived to a place of authenticity, but it is a continuum. It is a process. It is a continual journey. And one of the first stops toward that is acknowledging what I call acceptable phony. Yeah. In today's culture, there are, I guess, people who it's because
acceptable phony. So again, he talks about living in the truth, authenticity, that being able to free you in understanding. Listen to what he's saying about acceptable phoniness.
Come the default acceptable practice of being inauthentic. It's an acceptable level of phony. It's kind of like what we would call a white lie, where we're saying, well, you're saying a lie, but it's not because of, it's not to deceive, it's not to hurt. So it's a good lie. Hey, Shireen, good to see you. But there's a level of phony that is acceptable in much of today's culture. That's where we withhold and we massage truth. We don't tell the full truth about things. We just kind of massage it. And hear me, some of this is necessary in some settings because
And remember, again, this is not about just the salaciousness of him cheating on his wife. It's about understanding what he stated. A lot of folks are walking around here completely phony. They're all participating in this weird mantra of you need to be able to do A, B, C, that you're going to end up getting D, end up getting married. And again, when you're out here being phony, you're not being yourself. You're placing on whatever identity, whomever you're attached to, you're placing on the identity. It is not going to end up very well at all as far as marriage is concerned. Because again, based off of our understanding and what we place within our marriage, I did not morph into my husband when I got married to him. He dang for sure didn't morph into me. We are still two people that are experiencing life. When you are married, it depends on what it is that you want to look for in life and what it is that you guys want to participate in. It's okay to have your own brain when you get married. It's okay to have your own brain and use it before marriage. Because again, there are men or women that are out here that are saying, do not use your brain, shut your mouth. And it's just like, what kind of, nuclear family you guys come from? Because if you do have parents that are there that are supportive, your mother or your father doesn't mean, regardless of however their background was. But if you're having supportive parents, regardless if it's one or two, they will hone in that they want you to use your brain. And by doing so, they want to make sure that you're around someone else that also hones in that love that they have bestowed upon you. So they want you to have a partner that loves you immensely, just as much as they did, or even more. So when you're talking about this phoniness, again, when you guys are having this psychiatric, like I need to have this marriage within 24 hours, you guys are participating in so much phoniness, and you're wondering why, A, you haven't gotten married, because anyone else that's passing by you, just like the pastor said in the beginning, already sees the cracks in the foundation and already sees you're not even being your real authentic self. Or B, if you do end up getting married, and legally, not spiritually, because like I stated, a lot of the spiritual girls and guys be fighting for their lives. And at the end of the day, a lot of folks sit up here and talk about marriage, but then that's when you're like, okay, so what day are you going to legally get married? Oh, why we need the white man in our business? We don't need to get legally. Listen, I'm talking about legal marriage here. When folks are telling you about this and then you end up getting legally married and then you guys end up getting divorced within less than 5 years, it's because you participated in this phoniness, or he participated in the phoniness. But this is why we want to be able to cultivate a channel and a relationship with you guys to where you're able to see when folks are being phony, and there are plenty of them.
There are some truths that would just completely obliterate some areas, some people. It would destroy some things. So you do have to be wise and discerning, empathetic and compassionate, tempered, and self-controlled in how we just drop truth bombs. But we do have to acknowledge there is a level of phony that is wrapped up in that has become acceptable. And I'm not speaking to you from a place of foolproof, I've arrived, I know it all. I never do. I never put myself in a position, I know it all, can't nobody tell me nothing. Very dangerous position to be in. Teach best what we most need to learn. Woo! That most of us give better counsel than we take. Mm-hmm. Most of us advise people more accurately than we actually implement the advice that we're given. So we teach best what we need to learn. And that is a very honest statement I can say for myself. Thanks for joining. That we tend to give better advice than we take. We tend to teach better, and we're better with giving people insight, but we tend not to be as honest about where we lack it. Because again, there's a lack of security sometimes that we feel. There is a sense of ego. We want to keep a more polished and more progressive and put together image. So that prevents us at times from being honest about the areas where we might have shortcomings. For many of us, we've experienced a number of people who've tried to use our vulnerabilities as tools of sabotage. So what we do is we realize
what he said was very, very true. But again, when you are walking into a marriage that you both understand the crack and foundation, the whatever the version is, I don't even want to say crack, because if that person is who they are, that's who they are. Whatever version of that person, when you guys are walking into that whole situation, there is no need for you to be phony, and there's no surprise because you already know who that person is. Meaning, I already know that person likes to sleep on the left side of the bed because when they were a kid, the night light was on the left side. Or when they were a kid, the window was on the right side of the bedroom and they were scared of monsters on the right. Whatever the reason is, you get to know your other half, your spouse, very, very well. There's a lot of things that they tell you, and that vulnerability is there. So being able to have that, for those of you guys who are realizing when everyone's walking around being the same replica of everyone else because they tell you that you need to be this, that, and the third, those folks cannot be vulnerable because they have the shield of armor of fakeness and phoniness.
In order to survive, and to survive beyond the predators that might be in my ministry, at my job, in my family, in my social circle, I have to hide. There has to be a level of hiding. There has to be a level of secrecy that prevents me from being able to be fully authentic and fully free and true to other people. Another level of acceptable phony is where we spin things a certain way. So we say things a certain way.
I hope you guys are hearing this, because when I heard this, I was just like, this man and his wife, they know what it is. And like I stated, you're going to be surprised when I tell you what this really is.
We're not comfortable with being blatantly truthful. Let me ask you this question. This is the $1 million question. Are you ready? If you stopped spinning things a certain way, if you stopped withholding, if you stopped massaging the truth, what would become of your current relationships? Acceptable phony, doing or saying what we think we're supposed to in order to look good, to get what we want, or simply not cause a problem. That's another level of acceptable phony, where we do things or say things that we're supposed.
Not causing problems. There's so many videos I see where TikTok videos, I should say, that I see where folks are like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to be seen or heard or whatever foolishness you guys are saying now. But it's this idea of you're just supposed to stand there like a robot, not have a personality, and morph into this other person. And then you're not supposed to have disagreements. No one's saying you're supposed to be out here having all out brawls and stuff in the middle of the street. But yes, remember, you're two different individuals. And even in the aspect of like your own, if you have a brother or sister, if you have best friends or guy friends or whatever it is, you have I should say siblings. Even if you come from the same womb and you have the same parents and all this other stuff, more likely than not, even twins get into disagreements, and they are literally the same cell that they shared, the same thing that they came out of the sac. But if these folks that are siblings, they can have disagreements, why on this entire green earth are you telling folks, or you telling yourself, that you should not be having disagreements with your spouses? Again, it's supposed to be respectful, because you're not supposed to be getting disrespectful. But at the end of the day, a healthy, balanced relationship is for those that are able to explain their versions of whatever it is that they do not like. Because as people, unless you're a robot, there are things that you do like and there are things that you don't like. And there are times that you both are not going to agree with that. So you will have disagreements. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry to burst your marriage bubbles.
It's culturally proper and ethical. It's socially acceptable. It's politically correct. Right? It's ministerially correct. If you were to stop with acceptable phony for fear of causing a problem, for fear of being misunderstood, and just hear this gracefully, not recklessly, but gracefully in your truth. What would it look like if you stopped being extra nice and just told the truth? Just to stop with the LOL. No, you ain't laughing out loud. You put that in there to soften the blow, to massage it, delete, and just send it and see what happens. What would happen? There are levels of freedom. Remember the scripture I gave you, you'll know the truth, it'll set you free. Truth synonymous with honesty, honest synonymous with authenticity. When you embrace that, you become free from some of the imposing expectations. Now hear me, it sounds really good. Like I told you, we teach best what we need most.
Imposing expectations. And like you stated, you would teach best what you must need to learn. So the expectations, if you guys remember when we broke down the Megan Good situation, where they're still legally married right now, but Megan Good's husband, Devin Franklin, discussed him being a representation and being whatever the idea of a husband should be. Him not even being his own authentic self. So even like he stated, you are not being your authentic self. Again, guys, the keywords are there. This whole exposure situation, again, is not for us to pick at folks, because at the end of the day, there is a family at the base of this. And I don't know about you guys, but for us, we never want to see a family fail at all. So it's not something to be excited about. Oh, look, that church person isn't doing so well. Hee hee ha ha. What's the point of laughing at them? If they're failing, they're failing. Like, what does that make you feel any better? But understanding that these are lessons that you can learn, that we can actively learn, so that we understand how to be a better version of ourselves, so that we aren't walking around here phony and not telling folks the truth, especially if you're thinking that you want to get married.
We give better advice than we take it. Oh, yeah, everybody got the answer for everybody else, but when the tables are turned, it's hard. So it can be very, very uncomfortable. I want us to assume that the title, oh, the freedom that comes with authenticity, being authentic, that's right. Yes, I like this, share this, tag this, da da da. Listen, it's tough. It's tough. Being authentic, you have to endure and become accustomed to levels of discomfort and frustration. It can be, can I be honest? It can be downright scary. It can be scary because there's a part of you that's showing, there's a party that says like, yeah, I am lying. Hear me roar. Courage to tell the truth. But then there's a party that's like, but what they gonna think? What's gonna happen?
But that's the problem there. It's not the idea of, okay, what are they going to think? Remember, when you're walking into these relationships and you're walking into, again, you're not telling strangers on the, it's not like you're talking to a cashier and telling them all your deepest, whatever your vulnerability points are. You're not doing that. You're talking to someone that you both are participating in a relationship with. You're talking to someone that you both are stating that, hey, I love you and I want to be married to you. You're talking to someone that you are about to embark on a marriage with. There is no reason for you guys to be so scared. There's no reason if you were living in your authentic self, you were not a representation of anyone else, or you were following behind someone else telling you what you should be doing. There is no reason for you to be cowering in fear that, oh my gosh, what if I tell him this? Or what if I tell her that? She's not going to accept me. What is there not to accept? That's you. At the end of the day, if I like carrots or if I don't like carrots, my husband has a choice of, well, before he was married to me, he had a choice of not dealing with someone that likes carrots or dealing with someone that does. But at the end of the day, he knew that I like carrots, or I knew that he liked whatever he liked. It doesn't matter. There's no reason for you to be in this whole scary type of situation. But also, I did understand that portion of it to be a different way, to where it's like, you can't just be rude and nasty and telling the person that, oh yeah, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you, what you need to hear. Again, like I stated, as far as the video that we did about whether or not degradation is your love language, some of you guys love to be disrespected. Some of you guys love to hear that tough love. That's love to you. There are those of us that did not grow up with a tough love exterior, to where I was not raised in a home where I was getting beat down as a child. So when I did go into adulthood and going into relationships and in marriage, I wasn't looking to be domestically disciplined, because I didn't grow up in a household where I was getting beat down. So there is this conversation of, even in both households, where we were free to talk about whatever it is that we wanted to talk about, but we also understood you cannot be disrespectful and then sit there and say, oh, well, I'm just giving you the love. No, you need to make sure that you understand, if you're being your authentic self, there's no reason to be cowering down and afraid to tell your version of the truth, because that person knew that about you from day one.
Some of you have allowed people to stay in the core of your life for fear of what they'll do if you let them go. So could you imagine the damage that's being done while they're being held in? If you're fearful of what they'll do if you let them go. So we move on from being phony, right?
When he said that, I thought about, wow, he's really telling the truth about, again, allegedly, based off of his lifestyle, the fear of telling them the truth, and then if they would let them go.
The next would be being honest. Being honest, good. Being good and true. Everybody wants honesty. Oh yeah, it's good to be honest, tell the truth, and be honest and so on. But if you're not careful, depending on your motive and your intent behind the tool of honesty, honesty can be just as destructive as being phony. Now, we've heard people say, honesty, that's the way to go, right? That's what we should expect, being honest. But let's tell the truth. There's some times where being honest messed things up. In some cases, I can reflect and remember where I was honest, and my honesty jacked some things up. It really just kind of made things like, okay, maybe it'd have been better off with, I should have never said nothing. I should have just left it alone. Because now I've stirred up the ant's nest. Now I've opened up Pandora's box, right? It can be.
You hear that? He opened up Pandora's box.
Honesty can be just another storm, right? But this storm, it's a storm with integrity. Phony lacks integrity. Phony makes me not trust you. Honesty makes me say, you're going to tell the truth, but you might be reckless. And if we give you the mic or give you the floor or give you the opportunity, we all might scatter like roaches in the kitchen light. Come on. Here's the thing. Honesty can sometimes be used as a tool of self-righteousness. I'm just being honest. Every somebody to say something, it's almost gaslighting. It's like dropping a bomb with the intent to blow stuff up, but then you hide behind the integral and socially acceptable mask of saying, I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Hey, The Real BJ, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just being honest. People who just say things like, I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? And then they read you from the foot up and back, right? And then leave you feeling like, man, I suck. My life sucks. Because it can be spun with a tone and with the taste of self-righteousness, if not careful. G. Clark 8, thanks for tuning in. So honesty, while it is good and while it is truthful, can be used as a tool to really destruct and to further condescend and hurt people if not used properly. So we're on this continuum, right? Remember, authenticity is not just a place you get to. I've learned this. Authenticity is the journey. It's been said, this quote that I want to share, that peace is not, there's no way to peace. Peace is the way. Does that make sense? Peace is not the destination. Peace is what we need for the journey. So authenticity is not the destination. I'm not trying to be an authentic, or I'll say this, get to an authentic place. I'm trying to be authentic along the way. Is that clear? I hope I cleaned it up right. So it's not that, oh, I'm authentic, that's it. Why can't we just be authentic and be that's it? Because truth is, your truth evolves. Who you are evolves. Your experience evolves. You are.
Like he stated, what your experience is, you evolve. So being being in a relationship, you evolve from the person that you were in the beginning. Again, if you are your authentic self and you're not a robot the entire time, you are, as a human being, are going to flourish into whatever it is that you're going to go. So when you are changing, even in the marriage, you do change if you are being your real self.
A person that is evolving. As long as you're alive, you will continue to evolve. And I'm wrapping up, but I want to encourage you to understand that authenticity is something you are along the way. It's not a place to arrive to. When I was single, there was a level of authenticity that I could embrace and walk in because I didn't have a covenant with someone. Then I got married and some things went taboo.
When he was single compared to when he went into a covenant. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm not sure whether or not he used that word because of him being a pastor. I would have anticipated, like most people, to say, oh, when I went into a marriage. But again, I was like, covenant kind of seemed like a little bit more like a ritualistic type of situation. I'm like, whoa. But again, it could be because him being a pastor. So that could be what he sees it as. But I'm like, why wouldn't he just say when you enter a marriage? But like he stated, there are things that are taboo. Things would not be taboo if you tell folks that that's who you are in the beginning. Again, if you tell folks whatever it is that you like to do, as far as like if you like to drink, and you tell folks that, hey, I like to drink, and if they start noticing that the drinking isn't just on social events, it seems that you're drinking a lot more. And then it allows them to be able to say, hey, I already knew in the back of my head that that person does like to drink, but I'm noticing there's a different change in it. So there's no taboo behind it, because if you are staying with your spouse, you're going to not sit there, but you're going to, in a loving manner, say, hey, I've noticed that the drinking has increased from outside of us going out on events. I've noticed that you've just been drinking around the house, willy-nilly. Is there something that's going on within your life, that's something that has changed? Was there something that you've been disappointed about within some kind of goal that you wanted to reach? What is it that's happening there? So when that person could have been like, oh, well, my drinking, or they could have acted as if though they were this representative of themselves. They act as if though they don't drink at all. They don't drink at all. They don't smoke at all. And then they act as if though that, oh yeah, I'm this whatever type of person. And then when you both enter into a marriage, all of a sudden this person is like putting down kegs and then smoking smoking stuff or whatever. And then all of a sudden you're just like, what? But remember, that person's going to say, oh, I couldn't be honest with you because drinking and smoking is taboo. And there are a number of cultures, it is actually still taboo. So when you're not able to be honest because you do not want it to be taboo, that's what transpires. But again, when you're being your authentic self, when that person sees you, when you're like, hey, I can drink, I love bourbon. So when they see that, hey, I already have glasses of bourbon, I'm not sitting up here acting as if though I don't drink, so that there's no reason for me to be taboo and stuff. And there's also a conversation about if you like to shop. There's a lot of people that go into financial ruins because of that. So if you're sitting there saying that, oh no, I'm this matronly type of woman and or man, and I sit here and I don't spend any money at all because I'm more than happy to wear the same things, and I'm not like those other women. I'm not like those other men that need to spend all this money on name brand stuff. But in reality, you do like nice things. You do like name brand stuff. But you've hid that from your spouse. You've hid that so that you can get married. So then by the time you've racked up all this credit card debt, and then it's like, oh yeah, I figured it was taboo and I didn't want to tell you that I cannot control my spending and stuff like that, because you've been so busy being phony and not being who you are. So when I saw this video, I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so interesting that nowadays everyone loves to spew out this whole thing about what's a modern woman, and look at those modern women. They're out here living their lives and doing whatever. Yeah, because they're not busy being a mold in a computer like you are. They're not busy being phony like you'd like them to be. They're actually living whatever version of their truth is. And it's not about whether or not you agree with their lifestyle or not, because that's that person's life. You're not the person that's going to be sitting there on the reckoning day. Why do you care? But there's also this conversation piece too, where if you guys want to take notes about this traditional woman would never do this, traditional women would never do that. This was a perfect example about a very submissive, traditional woman, so traditional to the point that she literally knows, just like the pastor, knows the Bible and the scripture through and through. So when you guys are sitting up here talking about you are traditional, guess what, my friend? You can be as traditional, as sanctified, as perfect, as submissive. If you both did not enter into a relationship or a marriage being your authentic selves, it will still crash and burn, because at the end of the day, you both were not being whatever versions, you both were not being truthful to yourself. So let's continue following these traditional paths of these very submissive folks.
There's some things I dare not say to my wife. There's some things I wouldn't share. But then as we continue to live and grow together, there's some things that I suppressed, some things that I didn't deal with properly, some things that were unresolved in my single past.
Did you hear what this man stated? As he and his wife continue with their marital path, as he states, there was some things in his single path that he did not resolve. Again, same thing if this was a woman that was in this type of situation. There were things that she did not resolve in her single path. Again, when you are your authentic self, even if there was a conversation about, oh yeah, you're still stuck on your ex-boyfriend or something, there was a breakup in the past, it didn't end so well. Instead of you going into a new relationship, or instead of you entering into a marriage and you're still hurt based off of whatever that person did, you cannot continue on with your husband because you've never dealt with whatever that hurt was in that time. So when he was stating about things in his single self, I don't want to, jump off the cliff and say that, oh, he was doing whatever, before he was married. I don't know. I can't tell you that. But there is something to be said about, well, does that mean that his single self, he was participating in same gender loving situations, but for whatever reason, which we're going to go into, there was a reason why he wasn't authentic and actually walked into the path of marriage. But again, I don't know. I can't tell you what this man was doing before he became a pastor or before he became married. I can't tell you that. But what we can do is learn a lesson from this, because again, like he stated, when he was single, there was things that he did that he could not bring into his marriage. What is it that you can't bring in your marriage if you're being your authentic self?
Made its way into my married present. Now I had to embrace another level of authenticity, to be honest and to be transparent and be vulnerable to the woman of my dreams, who I'm her hero. If I tell her that about me, I'll be her villain.
Did you hear what this man said? If he tells her the truth, he, as her husband, is the hero. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Both sides with the H. Hey, Kimberly. Both of them are, he, as her husband, is the hero. But if he comes out and tells the truth, he will be the villain. Why would you be a villain? Remember, you're married with that person. There is nothing that, again, you'd kind of be annoyed to be like, okay, seriously, we got to deal with this situation as far as like, I don't know, a situation like drinking or something, or a situation like shopping, something like that. It'd be kind of annoying, like, okay, bro, let's get through this. But it's not something that you feel like it's just like you've become this villain and I don't know who you are overnight. It's like, well, that's a totally different person, because if you become a villain, this is someone I never even knew. So you walk into this as a persona of someone else and not your authentic self. So why would you need to be a villain if I knew who you were in the beginning?
I have to be authentic and risk dealing with turbulence that's birthed out of transparency. But do I regard, respect, and love the person enough to stay seated, embrace, understand that there's going to be some dips and some drops, but the health of the relationship is worth the turbulence that comes with an authentic journey.
Hey, Renisha Space, appreciate you for being here. We are going through his version of him speaking out, because to me, this whole sermon, this was his truth. Now you'll be able to watch the playback, and anyone else that's watching the playback, again, I really appreciate you so much for watching this video, because there's so many things that are literally gems that he's telling his version of the truth, and we will continue on and talk about what she actually knows. So like he just stated about this whole background about being a villain and so forth, from hero to villain, making sure, again, you hear what he said. I want to play this back because I actually forgot. Hold on, there's something he said.
There's some things that I suppressed, some things that I didn't deal with properly, some things that were unresolved in my single past that made its way into my married present. Now I had to embrace a level of authenticity, to be honest and to be transparent and be vulnerable to the woman of my dreams, who I'm her hero. If I tell her that about me, I'll be her villain. I have to be authentic and risk dealing with turbulence that's birthed out of transparency. But do I regard, respect,
Sorry, okay, now I hear what he's saying about the turbulence thing. Again, like I stated, there are a number of folks that have books about rebuilding. And again, everyone participating and calling on this energy about choices, which is cheating. It's okay if my spouse has choices, because as long as they financially take care of me and all this other stuff. Like he just stated about going through turbulence and going through, turbulence and stuff. Remember, it is up to what you, for yourself, that you want to deal with. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of y'all seem that y'all like to go through hell and back. Y'all like to fight demons. Y'all like to be crucified at the cross. A lot of y'all like that type of stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I'm not built up like that. I'm not trying to be hung at the cross. I can't do all this. All this whole turbulence, and well, we got to go fight the armor of the. We got to go fight the what the girl had, the bonnet of the Lord on her head, and she's fighting demons and the power of the Almighty for this marriage and stuff. Listen, guys, some of y'all be doing too much for too little. A lot of y'all be putting 1,000 on somebody that's worth $5. It's really not that dang on deep. Why are you fighting demons and demonic spirits if that person would stop bringing on the demons and demonic spirits? Why are you fighting demons and demonic spirits when you yourself have been calling on the energy of choices? He or she can have choices, aka cheating. You've been calling on these spirits so that you can come fight them. Y'all can fight all y'all want. That's on y'all. But as far as, like I stated, different marriages are different for different folks. Folks that understand what they can and cannot bear, because for those of you guys who read these foundational books about rebuilding foundations, like I stated, for us, we understood foundations are built with buildings. You can only rebuild a building. There's but so much and so far that you can disrespect folks. And again, it depends on who you are as an individual. There are things that I'm not going to withstand because I'm not built like that, babes. There are things, like I stated, about the whole domestic discipline situation. I was not raised in a home where I was ever beat as a child. I'd never, ever been, like, my parents never raised their hands to me. So, babes, guess what? I cannot afford to be in a relationship or a marriage where I'm out here getting beat down so that I can learn that you love me, or I can learn that as a woman and as a submissive, this and I need to be able to do this and have your foot on my neck. Babes, it's not me, okay? If you want to put your foot on someone's neck because that's the type of lifestyle or the home or the folks that you're following and they're telling you that that's what you need to do, you need to find you a woman, okay, that does that. I can't do it for you, babes. So listening to what this man stated about the turbulence, you need to understand how much turbulence and what type of turbulence can you really go through. Because some of you guys can go fight the demonic spirits with the armor of the shield of the bonnet. Some of us, like me, babes, I can't fight spirits with you. I understand this is invisible. There's no one there. What am I fighting for? What are we doing here? This is insane. So, keynote.
Love the person enough to stay seated, embrace, understand that there's going to be some dips and some drops, but the health of the relationship is worth the turbulence that comes with an authentic journey.
Again, a lot of you guys need to understand what version of health is healthy for you. Because like I stated, a lot of you guys with these choice, you have choices and not choice. You have options and he can have options. Like he stated, the health of this relationship. I don't know about y'all, but I'm more concerned about the health of myself. So if you're talking about the health of this relationship, so I'm supposed to have the freedom of options so that I can know that you'll be able to go out here and sleep with 1,000 men or 1,000 women, because again, I've already opened up this whole options energy. So when you're opening up that energy and you're talking about the health of this relationship, you need to know what is the health of any relationship that you need to be going through this turbulence and turmoil in order to prove your undying love. And you guys remember the video that we did the couple of days ago about incels compared to good men? And then that video where the guy was it a guy? Where the video was talking about the turbulence and stuff like that. And I'm just like, bro, there's a lot of these things that there's no reason for you to go through this because it's not even that deep. Again, make sure that you understand what type of relationship and what you are willing to go through. Because if you're telling folks that these are my standards and these are my borders and my boundaries, I'm letting you know this is a easy cheat sheet to let them know that this is the amount of disrespect I can give that person, because they will disrespect you because you told them this. Where you have another option where you could just say, guess what? I don't want to be a part of this Ferris wheel. I'm not dipping and dabbling. We are two grown adults. It's either we're going left or we're going right. And like I stated, yes, things in life do transpire, but those are outside things. Not that you're going to voluntarily come and hurt me. You, like I stated, you have options. Not that I'm opening up for you to voluntarily hurt me, and I'm also having to fight we call it life. Plus, I'm fighting inside the home because I'm calling on that you can have all these options. Be careful of what you guys are asking for.
If the journey is going to be turbulent because of the truth, because of the healthy management and conveyance and embracing of authenticity from all parties involved, if we can embrace that turbulence, I promise you, you will arrive to a healthy place, healthy relationships, healthy interactions.
Again, you guys need to make sure you know what version of a healthy relationship, because like I stated, there is no reason in the world should I sit up here and accept you beating me, berating me, we going back and forth through all this turbulence of cheating. And that's for me to have a badge of honor to be able to prove that I'm the ultimate undying, wavering love of yours. Babes, it's not that deep, okay? It is not that serious. So if you want to go and ride roller coasters to the death of you, by all means do it. Like I stated, don't think that I'm signing up for this dumb behind stuff, because this is foolishness.
It's tough though. It's tough and it can be scary. I don't want to insinuate that, oh, it's just gonna be cool. We teach best what we most need to learn.
Again, it does not have to be tough if you decide that you do not want to be in a badge of honor of going through trailblazing of struggle. It does not need to be that difficult. It literally is not.
We really do. So authenticity is being absolute, but take out that self-righteous part and add vulnerability to it. That's authenticity. And it takes courage to be that way. Authenticity is what gives us freedom to be ourselves and to be comfortable with who we are. And it's also what gives us access to connecting with other people in a meaningful and a genuine way.
The Most High has already given you that. And again, if you move about life based off of who you are as a real person, there is no need for you to ask for a pass. So can I be my authentic self? Can I be that? No, just be your authentic self. There's no question for me to ask someone else, another grown adult that's going through life the same way that I am. What am I asking you about? I can be myself.
When we're not authentic, we have senses of security, false senses of connection, because we're not able to freely be who they think we are. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. This is true power found in authenticity. And when we embrace it, even though it can be uncomfortable, it can be scary at times, we give ourselves and those around us one of the most important gifts of all, the real you. the real you. There's some people who think they know you. They think they know you when they only know the version of you that you have presented. There's some relationships that are going to have to be rearranged once you embrace your own authenticity, not recklessly, but intentionally, strategically.
An elder, she is duly ordained as an.
Okay, so like I stated, that whole sermon or whatever that was, I thought that he literally told exactly what's on there. And this is going to be a key point. So now that that's done, I'm going to let you guys know what I think. I believe that both of them are participating in the charade. They both have an understanding of what it is that they want, whatever they have set up at this point. I don't know if it's a marriage. I don't know what they're calling whatever they got going on, but this is their version of it at this point. Because when I saw this video, I said, oh my gosh. Listen, guys, again, this is not a moment to sit up here and be excited about someone failing at a marriage. It's not, no. This is a moment for us all to learn a lesson because, again, when you guys are hearing about this whole traditional thing and folks want to put it against other folks' head about, oh, back in 1920 something, the traditional women were doing this, that, and the third. Well, a lot of these folks was out here smoking Henny and drinking crack. So you tell me what you want to participate in, babes. But this whole situation right here is when I said, okay, whatever their version of their family is, this is what they both have worked out. And again, based off of what I read as far as the television person that I had showed you guys earlier, that blog, where again, all the references of everything that I use was going to be down below. But in that whole situation, when I saw this, I said, whoa, this is not just a regular, This isn't just a regular marriage. These two, like I stated, I believe that this is, like they said, allegedly, this is the second time that something like this has transpired, that he was found to be with another person that's outside of his marriage. Again, I don't want us to highlight about it just him being with a man, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you cheat with a man or a woman, you still cheated. It doesn't matter if you cheated with a man or a woman, you still have the same opportunity to catch any STI, STD, or HIV. It doesn't matter the gender. At the end of the day, if you are in a legal binding marriage, there is no clause of this where it states that cheating is a part of whatever it is that you guys delegated to be. Again, I don't know what marriages you guys are participating in, which there's so many folks that are giving you this advice about it's fine to have all these options, aka allowing other folks to cheat on you. You also need to understand the outcomes of that. You are the only person that will be sitting in that. So no matter if the person cheats with a man or a woman, they go out there, end up with a baby, they go out there, end up with an STI, an STD, or HIV AIDS, you're going to be the only person sitting in that result. No one else. None of these gurus that are telling you their BS when they themselves are not even legally married. But to get into this, like I stated, when I saw this, I figured and I understood they have something that they've worked out for their version of stuff. Because if this is allegedly the second time that it has been told to her and she has had proof that he has stepped outside of their marriage, if this is the second time that he has done so, and it's caused her to allegedly not have shown up to the church for 2 years. She hasn't physically gone to the church. There's so many lives that they're doing where she talks about the role of a first lady, the traditional submissiveness. And again, like I stated, with all that perfectdom, it still seemed like he still ended up doing this. But again, it could still be if it was on the option of a husband, without him being everything that a provider, protector, she still ended up going out there and cheating and stuff. But I want you guys to understand being yourself is the best version that you can be, because even if you turn around and be this super robotic, submissive, traditional woman, meanwhile, you have a thought process on your own, and that's not what you want to be. As far as you can, like I say, you can think of your own, you like to, whatever it is that you like to do. If you are standing up for your own self, there's not going to be any hurt and pain in yourself, because if you realize that person still wasn't being honest with you and the relationship or the marriage does not work out, you won't be hurt because you were still being authentic. Meanwhile, if you were out here being a persona of a traditional woman and being a barrier of an armor of the Almighty and all this other stuff, and you're willing to fight hand and foot by yourself because you're not fighting with the husband or you're not fighting with the wife, because at the end of the day, both of you guys entered this under false pretenses. You're fighting the battle of Goliath on your own. You are going to be very, very hurt because you're going to say, oh my gosh, like literally the Cinderella princess dress is going to melt from you. The traditional womanhood is going to melt from you because you're going to say, what? I did all of this and I was this, everything that you said that you wanted in a wife, and I was this submissive and I was this traditional woman. How is it that you still ended up cheating on me? Why is it that you still ended up doing this and the third? Well, guess what? If you were your authentic self, you would say this was a part of life. At least I was being my authentic self and I showed up into this, and it just didn't work out because unfortunately you cheated, and that's just it. But when you go out here and you are doing all this, what do you call it? You're doing all these theatrics and stuff. You're going to be very, very hurt because you're going to think that the cheat sheet to participating in the theatrics was going to get you the ultimate result. And ultimately, it's still not going to yield you the ending that you're looking for. And also, like I said, with this whole video is where I understood these two have worked out a situation in their lives that is best for not only them, but also their family. I 1000% believe if this is allegedly him, which I saw the video, the beginning portion of it, he was looking directly at the camera. Allegedly, that's that man. But if you do not be surprised, do not sit up here and send this woman any letters about, oh, well, this, that, and listen, leave that lady alone, because both of them have worked out what is best for their family. And I'm 1,000% sure this woman is not going to divorce her husband. She is not going to leave her husband. She is not going to leave her husband. And please, for the life of me, do not go messaging that lady to go leave her husband either. Because this right here is going to show you, even for that whole situation that happened with the Derek Jackson thing, and this woman was out on Facebook fighting the demons and all these type of spirits away from her husband. And she still have not left. That's why I say it. A lot of times, unless it's something to do with like abuse, I mind my business. Because like I stated, a lot of folks like to be degraded. A lot of folks like to go through the turmoil. They feel like the only way that they can feel love is if the person is cheating on them, financially taking advantage of them. That's the only way some folks see love. And guess what? That's for you, babes. I'm not mad at it. You're an adult. You can do whatever you want to do. I can't tell you what to do because, again, you're going to end up with the results that you're looking for. I just don't want to hear you come complaining to me because I'm going to hang up the phone because you already knew what she was doing. But seeing this, that woman is not leaving her husband. Seeing this, whatever type of dynamics that they have in their household is what it is going to be. Seeing this is for all you guys that want to participate in this traditional, transformative, weirdo type participant stuff. This is going to be somewhere along the lines of where you're going to end up at. Because this is not, I want to be respectful. Unlike her husband, this is something that, okay, like I said in the beginning, everyone has a different version of marriage for themselves. There are some folks, if they, no matter what religion that they come from or whatever, and again, I don't want to base this off of, oh, this is what happens in religious folks. It's not that. Not anyone, but it's not that. This right here showed me that for them, I don't know if you guys have ever heard where folks are like, oh, it doesn't matter what that person does because the moment that we went into, there's something that he said in the beginning, the covenant. What he said about the covenant, that key term, I was like, why did he say covenant? He could have said marriage or something. And like I stated, I was like, well, maybe I'm just overthinking this. Covenant to me, and I believe the definition, please look it up, but it was something to where like, it's a sacrifice type of thing. There's like a different realm or a different layer of something. It's something it's not of the physical being. There's somewhere else that it goes through. So there are some folks, no matter what the religion background is, there are some folks that they say that they don't want to get legally married because their spiritual marriage is this version of that covenant that they both have entered in. Child, I can't explain it because I don't have no parts of that stuff. I ain't covenant. I don't know nothing about that. I'm in a marriage. So with our folks, like I said, when I saw this video, I was like, oh, this is that covenant type of situation. These folks will not be getting a divorce, like I stated. They're going to work out. He's going to continue living his version of his life. She's going to continue living her version of her life. They both are going to continue making sermons and telling you about the lessons that they've learned about life. They're going to continue bringing you the word of the Lord because they both are still pastors. They are going to continue and telling you about rebuilding broken foundations and buildings and stuff, about marriages. This is what these folks are going to do. Again, it is not about the religious aspect. It is about there are certain folks that enter a certain type of spiritual realm of a marriage covenant type of thing. This is where their mind is. I can't tell you if their mind is warped because to me, I'm not doing that. But I can't tell you that it's wrong because, again, these are adults and they choose that this is what they want to do. But watch this video. It will give you much more of an insight to understand outside. This is a version of a traditional wife because this isn't just something regular. This is something deeper and covenancy. So we're going to play the video. Well, I'm going to play the video. You guys.
Elder, and her credentials will show this. But not only is she an elder ordained as an elder, she has been designated by her senior leader under the consultation and confirmation of his leadership that it is the mind of God that she would now step into this special armor bearer office.
Okay, so 3 things just happened here. She is ordained as an elder, and as you guys know, within the community, being an elder is the biggest thing ever. And okay, so that means that person has a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. She also is under the leadership of, like he stated, the leadership in the pastoral something that is underneath Pastor Dwayne Dawkins. So because he is he's the leader of pastor. So she's underneath his leadership to be able to guide or whatever it is. They're going to go into this whole thing. So these key things, I was like, first of all, she's an elder, so she has enough wisdom. So again, you're not talking about a 16-year-old person. This woman is a grown adult. She's consenting to the point that she's hit elderhood. She is very powerful, and that third eye is very open, and she's okay with this. So you're not talking about someone that does not have a mind of their own. She does. Then you're talking about someone that has that leadership. She's under the leadership not only about her husband, but the leadership of a senior pastor. So there is a different layer of covenantness that these folks have entered into. Listen to the key terms that are being used here, and you will understand why these two will never get divorced. And you'll actually understand why maybe he did do the video where allegedly, if that is him, allegedly, which I saw it is him, but this is why he was looking directly at the camera. Maybe this is his version of trying to break up that covenant, if you get what I mean.
A pastor under the auspices of this lead pastor, Pastor Dr. Dwayne Dawkins. And so, do you accept?
Under the lead pastor, Pastor Dwayne Dawson. So this is another layer. Again, this is not just a regular, again, y'all see.
The calling of your pastor, Pastor Dwayne Dawkins, to work as his partnering pastor, laboring alongside him to do the will of God.
Laboring alongside of the lead pastor, Pastor Dwayne Dawkins, putting on that armor so that you can shield Pastor Dwayne Dawkins. I'm telling you guys, when you guys are seeing, again, allegedly, when you're seeing, what's her name? What you call it? I forgot her name. But when you're seeing the lady that's around here with the armor of the bonnet on top of her head, fighting for the spirits and stuff, these folks, and it's not because based off the religion, there are certain folks that walk into this traditional wife situation. They have taken on the armor. And if you're seeing, you're like, ma'am or sir, that person has done this, and the third, and they're still going to sit up there. It don't matter. I'm going to still stand behind him. There's an armor. I'm still going to be fighting these demons on behalf of him. There's an armor. There's a layer of something else that they both have entered in. Thank God I don't know nothing about this because this ain't me.
I do accept pledging to do my best, the Lord being my helper. Amen.
I accept pledging.
Will you serve as an armor bearer by prayer and diligence, driving away all satanic enmity that would come under the ministry of your pastor and church?
Bearing that armor to be able to fight off the satanic whatever between, so that it does not take on your pastor and your church. Y'all better start listening to what folks are telling y'all. Like I said, y'all walking into these things, y'all need to buy specific type of bonnets because there's specific type of armors that you guys are fighting battles for. Like I stated, y'all want to fight the battles, shout out to you. I'm not doing it.
Will you, in the absence of your pastor, teach the same one Lord, one faith, and one baptism, endeavoring to keep the saints united under his leadership?
I will do so by the grace of God.
Yes, that's why she's out here fighting spirits and on Facebook. Like she stated, and he was just asking her, underneath his leadership. I'm telling y'all, this lady not leaving that man. Ain't no way.
Will you exemplify to the flock of the best virtues of membership and discipleship, and demonstrating full obedience and respect for the pastor's authority?
Obedience for the pastor's authority. I'm telling you guys, if it's allegedly him that was looking at that camera, if it was him, I think that he was trying to break whatever covenant that these people have entered into. Like I stated, this, based off of what I know about marriage, this ain't normal. But this is not them getting married. This is about the pastorship, because she actually became a pastor underneath his leadership. Like I stated, these folks will not get divorced. There is no divorce at all. And it's not about them not believing in divorce. They have entered into something that's completely another layer of covenantship of marriage. So these folks are both pastors, and she has already, like she stated, she's accepting of this. This is why they're going to work out their version of how their household is going to be ran. And it's not up for anyone else outside to be saying that y'all feel bad for her, this, that, and the third. I can't believe he's doing that and the third. This woman is an elder. She's been ordained as one. These folks know exactly what they're doing, okay?
Knowing that your service is not for the glory of man, but for the glory and the reward of God himself.
This I will do, the Lord being my helper.
That God has placed her as armor bearer for him.
God has placed her as armor bearer for him. Pastor Dawkins. She is being... I'm telling you guys, when y'all are sitting up here calling up these spirits of traditionalism, y'all calling up these spirits about you guys want to go battle satanic things, y'all calling these spirits, like I stated, if y'all want to go battle the warriors y'all can go do that. Just don't try to turn around and sign up other folks that think that this is complete insanity, because the rest of us ain't doing this. Because again, this is their version of marriage. It does not mean that this is the version of marriage that you have to enter into. This does not mean that this is everyone's marriage, because most of us ain't doing this. Just saying. And if you guys find that this is informative or helpful, make sure you hit that like button.
And for you, placing a supernatural staff into her hands.
I'm sorry, I got to keep stopping this, but like I said, I was watching, I said, what is this? They have literally placed the hand over her head. Her husband, Dwayne Dawkins, is right here to the left. He's the leader of Dawkins, of her pastorship and stuff. These are the other people. And two, this is another thing, like he just stated. They placed whatever he just said, they placed something in her hands to be able to protect. Hold on, let me play back what he said. Actually.
Armor bearer by prayer and driving away all satanic enmity that would come to hinder the ministry of your pastor and church. Will you, in the absence of your pastor, teach the same one Lord, one faith, and one baptism, endeavoring to keep the saints united under his leadership?
I will do so by the grace of God.
Will you exemplify to the flock of the best virtues of membership and discipleship, and demonstrating full obedience and respect for the pastor's authority, knowing that your service is not for the glory of man, but for the glory and the reward of God himself.
This I will do, the Lord being my helper.
That God has placed her as armor bearer for him.
All right, that's what he said. God has placed her as armor bearer for him. And he pointed at Pastor Dawkins. She is the armor bearer for the pastor. Y'all keep playing. Keep calling on these spirits.
And for you, placing a supernatural staff into her hands.
She now has a supernatural staff in her hands so that she can protect the pastor Dawkins. I'm telling you guys, these folks will not get divorced. It doesn't matter what this man do. And I think that that's, like I stated, that is why he put his face on that camera. He's trying to break up this covenant, because whatever he has done previously, allegedly, that she allegedly knows about, it still didn't break it up. She was still devoted, because there's already been in this realm of she has the scepter and she's already standing at armed guards for him.
That by means thereof, she will do signs and wonders, and she shall be an exemplar. Your birth books, training modules. She shall birth seminars. She shall birth works of God, not for her glory, but to extend the reach of this vision.
Didn't this sound like someone else's marriage went through? She shall birth. The pastor saying that this, she had fallen to the ground because they were doing, they were speaking on her and stuff in tongues. So he states she shall birth. These seminars will birth these words and all this other stuff so that it could be able to bring on forth and get other folks into whatever it is that they're doing and whatever teachings that they need to give. Guys, folks do not just use any words for anything. Birthing things, and like when he stated in the beginning when we first started the video about him talking about a womb, man having a womb, and not the idea of who this person really is. So they're birthing these things through these canals of, you're birthing out seminars, you're teaching women and men about how they need to be doing this, that, and the third. And remember, just like that interviewer sat down with them and stated, it didn't matter if we were in the sector and the secular of the holy matrimony and we are participating in religious situation, the divorce rates are still what they are. And you wonder why, because the only things that you guys are doing is out here birthing seminars and birthing these teachings of things. You're not actually being real human beings.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry. There was also another point that I wanted to do. When you guys see that they're all around her, this is some, okay, let me finish playing this.
We gave in an offering earlier, but that offering was for the ministry, for the expense and all of those things. This is an opportunity for us to bless her. I'm going to ask, thank you. We're going to write on behalf of the Door of Hope Church a gift. Yes. We want to sow a $500 gift tonight on behalf of our ministry, and we have a personal gift that's going to be in our.
So he discussed that they're going to give a offering. So he gave a specific amount of money. There's a number of other folks that pledged that they're going to give whatever amount of money and stuff like that. For me, when I saw that again, seeing all these folks that are surrounding her, seeing that everybody's talking about gifting her and offering all this type of money and stuff. Listen, folks, can we stop with the charades? At the end of the day, if we're giving all this financial backing and we're sitting here, we're putting up the word of the Lord and speaking in tongues, what are we doing all of this for? What is the purpose of this? Because again, this man, and we don't know about her, but based off of what we, the accounts and stuff, this man has stepped outside of his marriage allegedly multiple times. So all of this, in a certain point to me, is like, this is nothing but charades. This is antics. There is no point of even anyone talking about wanting to be married, because at the end of the day, if you're going to be surrounded by a community of folks, that the only thing that they can maybe hopefully offer you is to give you an offering of money. But the only other thing outside of that they're going to offer you is to sit up there and laugh at you and point fingers and say, well, you should have chose better. Or they're going to offer you, oh, well, look at you. No wonder why he cheated on you. You're sloppy. You're this, you're that. it's nothing but an offering of just demeaning. There's nothing but an offering of something so nasty and vile to say about you. The only thing that's offered to you is to let you know why you're so less of a human being. And this is why that person is doing this, the moral, horrible things to you. Because like I stated, it's not about, for me, when I saw the whole thing, it wasn't about him stepping out with another man. That wasn't, my biggest thing was the fact that the person stepped out in the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, when you guys are walking into a marriage to the point where these two are pastors and there's another layer of covenant and stuff, so there is a seriousness. No one here is not consenting and no one not knowing. Everyone is fully aware of what's going on. But the only thing these folks can do is just to hold on to you and give you nothing but empty promises and these fellowships of tongue, because the tongues are not amounting to you guys actually holding anyone accountable. Because that's why the videos, so many of them had to try to scrub the internet, but you guys are not sitting down with this man and scrubbing up, dude, what's going on? If this is your truth, let it be that, and then you guys can move forward and you can live your life of whatever it is that you choose to do. You guys are not holding folks accountable. And especially, you guys are walking into these relationships, or not even relationships, you guys are running into the devil's den, not realizing that the folks that are sounding the alarm, that are telling you that you need to run into this den, they are all going to stand around and watch you be burned alive inside of the den. And the only thing that they're going to sit around and say is, you should have chose better. Because they're not trying to help the person get any better. They honestly don't care. They're fine with this man cheating 19,000 times and counting. The only difference is because we have the modern internet, so people can share video clips of folks. Because if it was back in the days, during the traditional times and all this other submissiveness, this man would have continued to cheating, allegedly, if that's him. Everyone in the fellowship would have known that he was out here sleeping with whomever is out here in the fellowship, and everyone would have just sat up there smiling and excited that there's another word of the Lord. So again, if this is the version of traditional that you guys want, you can have it. Will I sign up for this? Hell no.
But sure enough, not least, to my oak tree, to my D.H. Dawkins, the man that seems to see so much in me, even when I fight him in resistance because of fear and an inability at times to see what he sees, I am grateful. Our journey has certainly been a creative one, literally.
I want to make sure you guys know this is her I don't know if it's acceptance speech, but this is a part of her going into the ministry as a pastor. So she was talking to her pastor, leader pastor, Pastor Dawkins, her husband.
Literally two young people teaching one another how to do life and ministry as one, because our aim is the same and our fire is to fulfill God's will. And that is everything. I honestly could.
When she said this too, I was like, oh, so they have been doing this. They've been both following this religion or following whatever religion that they both have been, like she stated, teaching each other. So they both know each other, depending on the version that he gave her, depending on the version that she told him. These two know each other. And if they both knew this, I believe that they both were in on the hoax. They both were in on the charades. It's just that she or he didn't want it to get out in the public, because this is a type of lifestyle that they both are okay with.
Could have never written our script better than the way God has done so. I love you, and I'm excited to continue to serve with you and our family first in the lives of God's precious. Thank you.
Sure.
Can you describe for us the state of...
Okay, so there's some other things that I also wanted to share with you guys, because I didn't know these things. There was a conversation about, you guys remember Mr. Delivered? Okay, let me preface this. There's a situation where, obviously, like I stated, for me, I didn't care whether or not he was out here cheating with a man or woman. It didn't matter. He cheated. But I wanted you guys to see that there was something that during the whole research process, again, everything is down below in the description bar. I did not know about this church. What is this? I did not know about this church, but I wanted you guys to know about this, because these are things that you never know, that these are what people are out participating in. So there was this church back in 2013. I forgot when same-sex marriage was legal, but I believe that this is when they actually shut down. But if you guys remember this whole thing that we all were laughing about, Mr. Delivered, when he was talking about he was delivered and stuff. And if you guys didn't see the video, yeah. So this was a international ministry that dealt with in faith, and what they were doing. That hold on, he's the president with his wife. I believe. Let's read this, child, because I don't want to come up here and tell y'all something that's not what it was. Annual conference knowledge. Okay, they've acknowledged that they've hurt people because this ministry was to be. Let me just read this. Okay, so they're an activist have welcomed decision by a Christian ministry dedicated to curing same gender loving. And they finally shut their doors, like I stated, based off of the marriages that were legal. Praising the organization's president for his integrity and authenticity and offering an apology for the group's actions. Based Exodus International, which calls itself the oldest and largest Christian ministry dealing with the faith of same-sex loving, announced Thursday that it would cease its operation. The group's president, Allen, made a statement that he wanted to apologize to the same-gender loving community for years of undue suffering and judgment at the hands of the organization and the church as a whole. So again, when you guys are running at the masses for these emergency marriages that you guys need to participate in, just like Pastor Dwayne Dawkins have stated about the phoniness, about not being your authentic self, about when he was single, there was so much from his single past that he couldn't be in his marital beginning portion. And then as you guys see that there's covenants and all kind of things that both of these people are participating in. You need to understand, you never know what people, if they are bringing the representation of themselves, because you are telling them that you want a woman that is this, and you want a man that does this. That person is going to do exactly what it is that everyone is saying that they want, but you never know if they have a background to where they were being, or they were participant of where this church may have done to a person, where they were trying to take away the same gender loving portion away from them, to where they not both, the same gender loving person thinking that, hey, if I go to this ministry and if they're curing this love that I have away, but then I find myself going out into the world back again, because at the end of the day, you love who you love. And I'm finding that I'm still loving the same gender, which I'm just like, what was the point of you even going to this? Because there's no cure of anything. That's okay. Back to this. But you don't know if these folks were going into these type of ministries. You don't know if they have these type of faiths. You don't know if they were being raised in these type of households where folks are telling them and berating them and telling them that you cannot love the same gender. And then they've shunned them to the point that they're like, okay, well, because I can't be my authentic self, let me go into a marriage or let me go into a relationship with you so that at least I can have a beard and at least I can go out just like Pastor Dawkins allegedly did. I can go out and do whatever it is that I want to do in the secular world. But in reality, I'm legally married just so that I can show my face, which again, it doesn't make any sense. Just be yourself. But okay, so back to this. A same gender loving group, Truth Wins Out, is welcome in Chambers' integrity and authenticity. It takes a real man to publicly confront the people whose lives were destroyed by his organization's work and take real concrete action to begin to repair the damage. The group's associated director quoted the Associated Press as saying, another same gender activist group, the Human Rights Campaign, pleased that Exodus had taken a first step in honestly addressing the harm the organization and leaders have caused. On Wednesday, the ministry annual conference acknowledged we've hurt people. While there has been so much good, there has also been bad, he said. We've fought the culture war and we've lost. It's time for peace. It's not about a culture war. It's just people are living their life. Like, why do y'all care? Okay, back to this. Chambers, who is married to his wife, Lisa, has spoken openly about his own attraction to same gender loving. So while this man was a head and the president of this ministry to try to cure other folks from loving same gender loving folks, this man is in fact just like a replica of this other man, allegedly, is married, but it still has attraction to same gender. That's because that is who you should be with. But Everybody wants to participate in charades. This woman is sitting beside him. She probably has a scepter, like we saw that earlier. She probably has an armor around her husband to where she's supposed to be protecting him, to where, no, I know that that's a sin. That's just a burning lust that the devil has sent upon you. You don't really have that. Y'all are doing all of this for absolutely no reason. This. Let me play this. This is insane. This is truly insane. Y'all wonder why folks end up ill, because you are causing yourself so much stress when you can simply be yourself, and whatever and whomever you love, just do that. But everybody want to participate in the charades again. As you hear, the president of this organization that was trying to cure same gender loving folks, he himself, who is married to his wife Lisa, that is holding on the scepter of the Lord, has spoken openly about his attraction and his want for another person that's the same gender as himself. Said last year that he was trying to distance his ministry from the notion that it could cure, same loving orientation. A year ago, Chambers had already publicly backed away from the notion that the organization should cause someone to change his or her orientation. Tony, a board member, separates them as the decision not to negating the way God used to positively affect thousands of people, but new generation of Christians looking for change, and they want to be heard. No, people just want to live their real lives and not sit up here and play charades and puppet masseteer and foolishness, because there's no point. The AP says the truth wins out. Hurts notes that former Exodus followers were disenchanted with Chambers' direction and have formed a new same gender ministry. So yeah, there's this, and again, it's a lot of other, yeah. So again, like I stated, you guys are in this emergency meeting that you guys need to be married by the end of the destiny, and it's just like, you guys are going to find yourself in a world of hurt. And for what reason, I don't know. Y'all like to stress yourself. Y'all want to work yourself into an early stroke. By all means, do it. It's your business. I don't care. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the second pastor, because you guys understand that this is the addition of the cheating pastors. Now, this pastor, like I stated, the orientation or the gender that they cheated with, I didn't care, because at the end of the day, you cheated, you just cheated. So I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know whether or not you guys are enjoying this with a like. Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you think that it matters whether or not the person cheats or steps outside of the marriage or the relationship with the same gender? Does it make a difference to you? Like I stated, for me, a choice of what do you call it? Cheating is cheating. I don't care what gender it's with. It's just what it is. We are adults. I would hope that folks would understand. It doesn't matter. But you guys let me know. Would you accept it to where, oh, okay, as long as it was with this person, I'm fine with it? By all means, that's you. And also, do you guys think that they're going to get divorced? I'm hoping that hold on, let me not say that. Do you guys think they're going to divorce? I believe that they will not be divorced. This is the lifestyle that they both, I believe, are very much understanding that this is the lifestyle that they both know what's up. I believe they do. So now to the second pastor. The second pastor, this right here, you guys need to help me, because I was kind of like, are they together? I think, okay, let's play the video. So this went viral on TikTok, as usual. And this pastor is Pastor Christian Gray. Okay.
Hey, TikTok world. So I'm not good at keeping up on trends, like legit. But apparently there's a new trend of, I can take your man and... Hey, TikTok world. So I'm not good at keeping up on trends, like legit. But apparently there's a new trend of, I can take your man. And all I gotta say is, congratulations, Jesse Bailey. This beautiful nurse, St. Francis Hospital, Tulsa.
Sorry, I didn't want her information out there, so hold on.
To play. And what does she win? Boom! Christian preacher, ordained minister, Christian Gray. Oh, what? Look at her raising up in the ranks. You got yourself an authentic, tall, dark, handsome, God-fearing preacher man. Congratulations, seriously. So, that's my husband, Christian Gray, and his girlfriend. She decided to switch up that profile picture to let everybody know that she's in a serious relationship with a married man. But don't worry. They were not serious until he left his family a year after his daughter died.
Listen, guys, I have a very soft spot when it comes to children. Again, like I stated, this is why I didn't want it to be this expose of, oh, look at them, they failed. Remember, there are families at the midst of this. These husbands don't care about their family, but I'd like to be respectful with that. Now, when she talked about this whole thing, I was like, well, are they still legally married? Because there are some things where if the person is legally still married, it's cheating. But if they're not legally married, it's just the person moved on. And then there was something about this where she discussed about their child. There's one of their children. They do have several children. One of the children, unfortunately, rest in peace, the child has lost the life. And that is something hugely traumatic. And again, there is something that I find that within this whole gung-ho of everybody needs to be married within the next 24 hours or it's going to be doomsday. No one is setting up a community aspect of love and we're going to hold you down. These two, I'm not saying I don't know, what family was there or not, but the same way with the other pastor that was showing you all these people are always around you when it's time to say yay, 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 but no one is there when there's turbulence and things have not gone awry. So if they have lost a child and if the family wasn't stepping forward, his family and her family to step forward to give them both support. And we understand that you guys are going through if they are going through a separation or divorce, having both family sets step in to say, I don't care what you two adults are doing and whatever foolishness I got going on. But as far as the children are concerned, we are going to step in as family. It doesn't matter if I come to your house every day or every other day to drop off a plate of food and just to follow up with you and find out, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Do you need me to go grocery shopping for you? Do you need me to help you guys out with gas? Something to help both of them understand the process of the letdown of the losing the child or the letdown of whatever disappointment that's happening in life. Letting folks know that we're there for you. Because remember, like I stated, folks want you guys to get in these emergency marriages, but no one is going to be there to support you both through whatever times is going on. So unfortunately, with them losing the child, you don't know if that maybe that started off where their marriage kind of took a crash down a different type of road. And this is it.
They weren't serious until he actually moved out. Then when he moved out, they were serious enough to go on a family vacation within 2 weeks, and he used our family funds to do that. So congratulations on going back to his hometown and taking all the family vacations we used to take. The baseball game, Rosalitas, that Mexican shit is on point. So
can y'all imagine how many folks that are seeing this man with this man that had, like she stated, they have always gone on these family vacations, but now he's taking her. Even the server down at the Rosalita, down to the restaurant, she's looking like, well, sir, who is this woman? That's not the wife that I've always seen you come down here with for years and years. And again, do not be surprised if all these folks, they are around the mistress and they're not saying anything to the wife. Don't be surprised.
So I hope you enjoyed that. It looked like you did. I mean, I saw the bill. So congratulations. But if you guys could refrain from using our family bill money as date money, that would be splendid. So Jesse Bailey, congratulations again. You won the contest. Me and my boys, we're going to be okay. I mean, I know you were following my Facebook page, so you saw that we had 2 other kids together and our daughter had just died the year before. So our family was very fragile already, but I'm glad you swooped in. I hear his excuse was he needed somebody to pray with. So
Did y'all hear what this woman said? That this okay? So as far as me am concerned, she's giving a lot of energy to this woman instead of this fool that she actually married and she actually entered into a marriage with. She's giving this woman a lot of energy. She's saying about, oh, you saw the Facebook and you saw this and the third. Okay, she saw it from outside. This one is who you married. This one was who lost things with you. This one was the one that participated in life and didn't give a dang, so he went on with her. But if you heard what she said, he needed someone to pray with. That was his excuse.
Oh, I'm glad you found you a prayer warrior. Like, praise be to God. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
So you guys let me know. Hold on, let me see what I need. This is so much. I need a moment. Renisha, again, thank you for being here. Renisha said, "This is so sad. I desire to be married one day. Yay! It's awesome. But I want to be happy and real." Yes, Renisha. This is it. I'm going to say this again. Renisha said, "This is so sad. I desire to be married one day, but I want to be happy in real life." Because there's no reason, I'm telling you for my idea. There was no reason if I was happy in real life when I was single, why in the entire world would I go sign up for a marriage so I can be miserable in it? That makes no sense. I might as well stay single. Or if I was single and I was happy, I want to enter and continue my life being happy, even with the addition of a marriage, because that is the point of this whole thing. Forget this social media stuff. I don't have anyone to impress. Child, that's it, because at the end of the day, you the one paying your own bills. So I don't know who that. Okay, shout out to you, Renisha. You get it. Now I'm going to share the second video. After this video went viral. Again, so many folks were asking, what did she do wrong? What did she do wrong? What did she do wrong? Y'all know how y'all like to participate. Y'all know how y'all like to blame everybody, child. So let's see what the follow-up through about this is.
Stephanie, back again. So my last video got flagged for harassment and bullying, and I'm not quite sure why. This chick here is Jessie Bailey. This is her profile picture. She so proudly changed her profile picture to let the world know that she's in a serious relationship with a married man. I know that
again, I think she's giving too much energy to Jessie. Again, even the follow-up video is about, oh, Jessie Bailey, she's so proud to be in a relationship with a married man. This is where, again, where is the community? Where are the folks that married these two? Where is the folks where the what was it? The maid of honor, the what the guys are? The best man. Where's the bridesmaid? Where's everybody that was at the dang on wedding? Where's everybody that was in the part of the marriage where they said, what, child, I don't even remember what they said. Do they? What he said? Oh, the witness people. Where are the witness people? Where are everyone that was participating? Where are the people that I paid to eat the food at the dang on wedding? Where's everyone at? Because anyone that was there, and we even said it as part of our wedding, y'all are legally contracted with us too. Because if anything happens, I need to know that I can call you up in 24 hours. You need to be there. You decided that you want to participate in this. You are now a part of this bond. Now, in all seriousness, though, those that love them both, that's in this both of their lives, would call him to make things right, to where they both can evenly clear out this whole thing. They both can leave out on even terms and be done with one another, so that she's not harboring anything. And if they need to, pay for therapy sessions for her or pay for therapy sessions for him, whatever it is, or both sets of families are going to step forward to make sure that, hey, I don't want both of y'all to be out here acting a fool, because you both have a family. You both have children that are going to see this. But guess what? No one is there. Everyone is just going to be sitting there idly by, just watching you both fail at destruction. And if you do not have the right people around you that can call out her shenanigans, call out his shenanigans as a failed husband, or her as a failed wife, or whatever happened that broke this whole thing down, or call out, sir, you weren't looking for anyone to pray with. You were looking for someone else. You were looking for a mistress. Let's stop with this, and let's stop adding in the word of the Lord into your lives. Where are the folks that need to call this out? But again, she's giving all this energy to this woman instead of knucking if you bucking with him. But that's another thing.
There's a new trend, hashtag I can take your man, or I got your man, or whatever else these pathetic single women have been up to. But she actually,
even that, I'm like, okay, she really is giving a lot. The whole pathetic single women. It's not single women. It's not everyone that's doing this stuff. It's just bird brain idiots. Between the men are bird brains, the women are bird brains too. So there's that.
actually won. So I wanted to congratulate her. She had to make it Facebook official. My husband right there, Associate Pastor Christian Gray. He's also an ordained minister because he appreciates the bond of marriage so much. He wants to marry other people in more ways than one. So anyways, yeah, I'm not sure what's harassing about simply resharing something that's already been so proudly shared. My husband walked out on his family 1 year after we buried our 12-year-old daughter who suffered.
So again, with her being a traditional first lady wife, she's being super submissive, super everything that the folks tell you need to do. And guess what? The man still abandoned her other children, child.
From heart disease her entire life. I get asked, what have you ever done for this family? As for those 12 years, I literally was the one running in and out of every doctor's appointment, every hospital visit. I'm the one who was on the ground giving that.
And she's doing everything that everyone ministers about these traditional wives. She is breaking her back to make sure that she's going out in every single appointment, having all the kids going to whatever soccer practice, whatever PTA, and all this other stuff. Because guess what? He's so busy being an ordained minister and being the leadership of everything. He's too busy to participate in, I'm just guessing, this is a role of a traditional wife based off of the folks telling you, child. She is now broken because her back is broke, that she's been doing all this stuff and yet she was still abandoned.
That sweet girl CPR, breathing life back into her. But I get asked, what have I ever done for this family, as he walks out on me? Then he tells her children he needed somebody to pray with. He had to leave me because he wasn't getting that from me. So he needed a prayer warrior. So the associate pastor of his parents' church had no idea who to.
So the parents knew that this man... Listen, there's so many stories that we got to talk about. Like I stated, this community and these self-righteous folks, they will run their mouth, and they are going to set you up to go walk into the devil's den because they are the right hand of the devil serpent himself, child. So he is the minister down to his parents' own church, and I'm sure he brought his mistress down to the church. His mom and his dad saw this woman and didn't question anything and thought that, yeah, you do need another woman to sit up there and pray with. This is pathetic, child.
Turn to in his family of like 300, all of whom are great, strong Christians. But he needed this Becky to fulfill his Christian needs. So he didn't have an affair, though. That needs to be clear. He moved out and within 2 weeks was in a serious relationship and taking family vacations with her and her 2 daughters, using our family money for that. So I got to see the charges popping up on the account when they were out of town together. So my boys were at home pondering what the hell their father's doing. And he's in another state with another family playing father to 2 little girls when his one and only, my one and only daughter was dead. So I'm glad he found happiness, and I just wanted to share Jesse's accomplishment. She knew he was married, she knew our situation, and she pounced anyway. So congrats.
Again, I think she's giving the energy to the wrong person. Again, Jesse, she's still a heifer. That's still a heifer. but the energy need to be given to him. The energy needs to be her family rolling up on his family, rolling down to the church house and figuring out. So all y'all 300 plus heifers that knew that this is the type of son that you guys had accumulated and put out into the world, and this is what he amounted to, you need to be down to shaming the family. You talking about her, I would have had it. She need to be down to shaming the family. Just FYI.
Really. Hey, TikTok world. Stephanie, back again.
Okay, so let's hear what Pastor Christian Gray had to say for himself. Let me know, guys. What do you guys think about this? Let me know with the like. Let me know what you got. How can I share? Let me know what you guys share this time instead. Oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Look at that. Okay, so let's listen to Mr. Christian Gray and hear pastor ordained minister that's down there ordained at his parents' church. Let's hear what he said. Oh, Pastor Gray. Okay. I can't even emphasize how much I've tried to keep my personal life and my family life private. Even when the daughter was going through her illness, I tried. When Stephanie was going through her, I tried. When me and Stephanie's marriage was ravished by bitterness, disrespect. This man, oh, listen. If this ain't gaslighting, I don't know what is. This man, woo! Again, I don't know what happened, but based off this child, okay, when Stephanie, which is the woman we just watched on the video, was going through her illness, even the fact that he put out this woman was going through whatever illness, you're her husband and you're putting out her. Okay, I tried. Again, tried. Tried means you didn't actually put any effort in. You didn't come up with a plan. Tried, child, you could try with air. It's okay, so there we go. When me and Stephanie's marriage was ravished by bitterness, but she didn't say it was on him, I'm sure he's talking about her. Disrespect, I'm sure he's talking about her. Hatred, infidelity on both parts. My. This is a perfect example. Again, I don't know what emergency marriages that you guys want to participate in, but this right here is not a husband. This is okay. Let me say this. When you are dealing with two adults that enter into a marriage, you both understand whatever downfall is. And if you're taking understanding on yourself, and as you guys love to use the word accountability, it's not accountability to where I can throw fecal matter in your face. Accountability stands up based off of what you know that you failed in within the relationship, within the marriage, or within yourself. Because if you're walking into it, instead of highlighting, well, you were this and you were that, well, then what were you? I'm sure it wasn't just two persons that did this. What were you? But if you're always highlighting what someone else did and you were so perfect, then why were you with me in the first place if you were so perfect? So with him placing all of this, and remember, he is not only the pastor that is the ordained minister that has all the righteousness and all the godliness and knows all the scriptures, but he was also the head leader of this family. So if the bitterness, disrespect, hatred, and infidelity, like he just stated, on both parts, because at the end of the day, he can't take off of, hey, I'm doing wrong because I'm still legally married, allegedly, but I'm going out here and I'm sleeping with and I'm tending to a whole nother family and a whole nother woman because I'm not participating in the marriage that I literally abandoned my family for, allegedly. Instead of him saying and standing up in the paint as a husband would, as a wife would, or as an adult that understands that they failed at something, he wants to be a tit for tat little person that is going to sit up. Like I stated, I don't like to compare men or women to children because children, I'm 99%, I'm 1,000% sure, children got more sense than a lot of these adults that's running their mouth. A lot of these folks, they just aged out. They ain't got no sense. So back to this. I tried. I tried. I hope beyond hope that our situation would change and that the facade fed to Facebook through Stephanie's eyes. Oh. Okay, let me read that again. I hope beyond hope that our situation would change and that the facade fed to Facebook through Stephanie's eyes. Man, this man ain't this man is a piece of work. Okay? Would become a reality. Man, this man foul, dog. This man is I'm gonna read this one more time so you guys can understand. Hey, Lena B, read this one more time. See, I'm hurt by what is here. Wow. Can you imagine being married to somebody for 12 years? You have shared a home with this person for 12 years, and this is what this person write to you? Ooh, Steph out. Ooh, okay. I hope beyond hope that our situation would change and that the facade fed to Facebook through Stephanie's eyes would become a reality. Boy, boy, boy. But it never did. This man so foul. This man is foul. Would have taken pictures as if our marriage was fine, only to be home and continue the same destructive behaviors that led us, us to where we are now, to where he has abandoned this woman. This man, so you can pull up a scripture out the Bible and help your traditional wife. I am an associate pastor, so he is a pastor, guys. That being said, I would never say starting a relationship before your divorce is finalized. Ooh, come on, ma. Ooh. Whoa. I didn't read. I read. This is crazy. Oh, whoa. Whoa. Okay. We're gonna work at this. This is a lot. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Let me know how I feel. I gotta readjust. I gotta breathe. Let's go back again. This is Pastor Christian Gray. He states, I am an associate pastor. That being said, I would never say starting a relationship before your divorce is finalized is right. This man knew exactly what he was doing, and he still abandoned his submissive, traditional wife to not process whatever failures transpired in their relationship or in their marriage. Wow. Yeah, this is what y'all want to run into? Just like I would have never. I hope this. Okay, just like I would have never condoned lying, disrespect, or hatred of someone because of past sins. Ooh, okay, hold on. I'm gonna put the link down below. I need someone to join me because I need you guys to join me. I need you guys to join me to let me know, am I crazy? What in the world is this? I need you guys to let me know, is this what these emergency marriages going to be looking like? Because folks are running into these marriages. They need to be in one, and they haven't processed who they are. Not only did this man say that Stephanie came up with this idea that she fed to Facebook because our marriage was never that, when it was both of them in the marriage. Not only that, but even though he understands that he abandoned his wife while they still are legally married, and he himself being a pastor in the Lord, knowing the scriptures, he still left her. Hatred of someone because of past sins. Past sins to me means that they have been going through whatever turbulence, and he has done whatever he has done in the past. And like I stated with you guys, if you guys want to do this rebuilding of rebuilding this and rebuilding that, if that's what y'all want to do, that's y'all business. Like I stated, you need to know what type of relationship and marriage you're going into, because there are folks that are similar to me. We ain't rebuilding shit. It's either we're doing this or we not. And especially when you're talking about another grown adult, you know what's good and what's right. What are we talking about? Past sins, which means that they sat up there and they both agreed that they're going to continue this marriage regardless of the past sins. And also, too, remember, when you're saying that you're going to be rebuilding these things, there's also a key point that you cannot bring up that person's past again. Because if you're saying I'm accepting that sin, I'm accepting that boundary that you crossed that I told you not to cross. Because like I said, a lot of times y'all be setting yourself up to be getting disrespected anyways, because y'all be telling people instead of just peace out, I'll see you later. But because of someone's past, I'm not saying her, but I would guess that she sat there with him and they both came to an agreement. Okay. Let's rebuild this. Let's rebuild that. And then in the rebuilding, in the midst of an argument, she still brought up whatever he did in the past. Remember, you said that you agreed that we're going to rebuild this, which means you are in agreement that whatever the transgressions he did, that was to be cleared. Why are you bringing that up again? What I would say is every day we are all met with opportunities to do right and wrong, whether we believe in God or not. Sir, you're a pastor. There's no conversation about you saying whether or not we believe in God. Both y'all, first lady, pastor, that tells you he was already, his mind is not even in the religion that he himself has put himself in. Ooh, this is a lot. Okay. The wrong, whether or not we believe in God, the wrong we do is associated with consequences, at least you know that God will judge. You see, this is my problem right here. This idea of the consequences that God would judge. This is giving an outside entity. Again, they are religious, so they do believe in the Most High, but there's also a physical flesh here that you guys are sitting up here tomorrow. You shouldn't judge. You shouldn't judge. At a certain point, we need to judge because you're going to end up finding yourself, like I stated, with an STD, STI, an outside baby. And the only thing the person's going to say is, guess what? You can't judge because you're not God, because you sat up there and accepted their past sins, because you stated that you guys are going to keep rebuilding on something that is nothing to rebuild on. Like he stated, it's been a fantasy in her mind because he wasn't a part of it for probably 12 years. Let's get into some things, guys. Associated with consequences that God will judge. God and only God, myself included. So he takes no accountability, child. That's what that's telling you. I would also say that God, who is greater than any of us. So again, I'm not going to place anything that I've done as a wife or as a husband based off of the failures of myself. I'm going to place everything that I did for God to judge and you not to hold me accountable, because although you are my wife or my husband, you are not God. So whatever I did, you can't hold it on to me. I've already repented. I already gave it away and it's already forgiven. I would also say that God, who is greater than any of us, gives us the ability to ask for forgiveness. Child, I'm done. This is what y'all out here really participating in. This ain't even mind control. This isn't even something that I'd say that, oh, he gaslit her, he's so smart and stuff like that. No, this is pure foolishness. What is this? Wow, this is embarrassed. This is embarrassed. I would also say, hold on. Oh, man. I would also say that God, who is greater than any of us, gives us the ability to ask for forgiveness, despite the forgiveness of those who are around us. So, Buddy already told you, he's not sorry for nothing. He don't care. He's giving it to God. And no matter how many times he goes out and sleep with whatever women that are outside, because remember, you got options. No matter how many times he goes out there and sleep with another woman, when the moment that he walked in the house and he repented, 20 minutes later, guess what? The sin never happened. That's what it is. Around us, I can only imagine how people would respond if their sins were placed for all to see. Again, not taking accountability. I don't give a damn. I'm not sorry. I'm going to continue cheating, thieving, and doing whatever it is that I want. And even at this point, he doesn't care about abandoning the family. He didn't care in the beginning. Whew, child. I can only imagine how people would respond if their sins were placed for all those to see. I haven't drug. Hold on, y'all. I need a drink. Hold on. I need a drink. 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, guys, I'm back. So this man he doesn't give a damn. He's proud of abandoning his family. He does not care. Okay, so what he said, ability to forgiveness despite the forgiveness of those around me. I can only imagine how people will respond if their sins were placed for all those to see. I haven't dragged Stephanie's sins before. Stephanie's sins before you all, even though the only men sinless in Jesus. The wrong I've done is the wrong I've done, which he hasn't taken accountability for. Just like you're wrong, Stephanie. Just like you're wrong. Which is still safely stored out of the public eye is yours. He is using whatever they've done for one another, whatever they've done to each other. Man, this man is foul. This man is foul. So she's been sitting next to the devil and the demon that they've been praying away. She's been laying next to it. So he's been holding on all that is wrong. He's been holding on to it so that he could throw it right back in her face. Man, this is messed up. Hold on. Oh, I thought they were going to continue. Okay. I tried to love. This man said, I tried. Hold on. What Lana B said? What do you say, Lana? Lana B said he is foul and his parents are right with him for allowing this. Exactly. My parents, you come from parents that actually love you. Okay. A lot of folks, they are more than happy to sign up for degradation because that's the type of lifestyle that their parents signed themselves up for. It makes sure that you understand you are not going to go and run into these 24-hour marriage that needs to be an emergency. When you have someone that you understand that this isn't love, this is sick. This is truly sick. Would never condone this mess for me. Exactly. I tried to love Stephanie, so he tried, which means he never loved her. And I did. There is no one, family member, friend, or enemy. Why you got enemies, sir? Aren't you a whole grown pastor? What enemies are you looking for? Something is really off here. Who can say I didn't? So that means that he knows that he have been driving that woman in front of everyone in front of the church. But as he stated, no friend, family, or enemy can say that you didn't. Why would someone else be able to say that you didn't love her? They shouldn't have any evidence that you didn't love her because based off of everyone else, you would have been this pastor. You would have been this pastor. Thank you. You would have been this pastor that would have been, a perfect husband and stuff. Sorry, guys, this is pretty long. Okay, I tried to love Stephanie. There is no one family member or enemy that could say I didn't. God also knows I did. Saying you love someone isn't enough. It does take sacrifice of yourself, your time, your feelings, your wants. Man, it's foul, dog. It takes compromise. It takes striving to be a better you. Striving to be a better you. Not just physically or financially, but emotionally. I tried. Lord. Thanks, babe. I need a drink with this. Stephanie, I'll send you a bottle of bourbon, child. Because you need that. It takes sacrifice of yourself, your time, your feelings, your wants. It takes compromise. It takes striving to be a better you, not just physically or financially, but emotionally. I tried, and even Stephanie can't truthfully admit I did it. Ooh, this man, ooh. Right now it hurts. Okay. Right now it hurts when your sins are thrown in your face. It does. It's supposed to. They're designed to push you back in the arms of the only one who can deliver you from them. This man is a whole comic. This man is a clown. If you don't agree with these words, this man is a comic. This man is a clown. If you don't agree with these words because you disagree with religion, you see how folks sit up here and play in your face? Again, that's why I didn't want to highlight this. Obviously, they're pastors and they understand the scriptures, but I didn't want to highlight it as saying that, oh, this is what's going to happen if you end up with a religious husband or a religious wife. No, do not throw religion folks behind this, because these folks are standing behind the cloaks of foolishness. There are good and bad for those who are not religious and those who are religious. And this is so disgusting that not only can you not take accountability for you abandoning your family, not only are you throwing out whatever she did and things of that sort, and you not standing behind you being the leader of this family, but for you to even throw religion folks into this, or those who are non-believers. Sir, because we don't believe in you abandoning your family, that means that this is us disagreeing with your words? No, sir. You're just a clown. You just a foul individual that shouldn't even disagree with religion. Then why are you calling my actions as a sin? Good Lord, help me, Lord. Let me read this again so I can properly understand. If you don't agree with these words because you disagree with religion, then why are you calling my actions a sin? You see this? People will throw fecal matter in your face and ask you, why are you upset that there is boo-boo on your face? This is it. This is it. And if you agree, then pray. Now y'all understand why the Nia Jackson's around here fighting demons and spiritual warfares and the serpents. This is what's going on around here, guys. And if you agree, then pray God restores me and those around me to where he wants us all to be. Ooh, ooh. Every day. Every day, every day, I thank the Lord. I thank my parents. I thank everyone else that I've been around in life, that they have solidified a human being that can think for themselves and a human being that can actually express their feelings. Not in the sense where you guys love to say y'all logical, you're emotionally emotional and all this. You should be okay with the person smoking, drinking crack and smoking Henny. This is not an example of anything that I want to participate in. And again, if you guys are finding yourself trying to do this whole traditional, y'all trying to find yourself to be all this stuff, y'all gonna find yourself down this type of lane. And again, it's not funny because at the end of the day, these folks do have a family. This is foul. This is disgusting. This is foul. This is everything, and I can't even come up with words. What Queen said? Queen said, "Is he the?" Leave me alone, Queen. Queen said, "Drink some on my behalf." Listen, I came from water to where I needed the bourbon. This don't make no sense. I'm sending Stephanie. I need your address. Let me send you some bourbon, child. You guys join up and let me know, what do you guys think? Seriously. What do you guys think that's happening out here? Is this the type of emergency marriages that you guys want to participate in? That you have been laying next to the devil, the demon himself, and the first time that this fool showed you who they were before you guys even had a family, you did not believe it. And like he stated, you forgave my sins. You forgave my past sins. Again, y'all sit up here and telling folks that they got all these choices, and y'all forgiving these folks of their sins. They is telling them that you are more than okay than being in the devil's den. We are all having a good old time around the bonfire. We are all participating in all of these things together. Because at the end of the day, the first time this person disrespected you by showing you who they were, you did not believe them. You sat up there and said, oh, we can make it work. Oh, we can fight. Again, I don't know what y'all can fight, but babes, I can't fight this. This is insane. This is insane. Okay. So moving forward from this, to follow up, who else? Okay. So hold on. Let me show you guys the rest of this. This moving forward from this, child. Okay. Only thing I can tell you guys at this point is make sure, like I stated in the beginning of this whole conversation, what is it that you want to see yourself as? Where do you want to see yourself? Again, take away these titles, the title about being a wife, the title about being traditional, about being modern, about being a husband. Take away all the titles. What is it that you actually, where do you want to be? What type of happiness lifestyle is it? What type of folks do you have around you that are going to support you in life? Because at the end of the day, guys, I would never, ever, ever, ever wish this to be on anyone, because to imagine how this is scary. To imagine that you've been sleeping next to the devil, and not only that, the fact that I'm also giving it to Stephanie too. This person, I believe he was this from the beginning. I don't think that he morphed into someone else. I believe, of course, he used the pastor type of thing to make it seem like he was this holier than thou folk. I don't believe that this man was not who he was in the beginning. I believe he was. But again, you need to understand, when you all are participating in these emergency, we need to get married by the end of the day, by the end of the doomsday, y'all gonna mess around and end up in some situation like this. And you're going to be confused why no one is there to help you out. Because guess what? No one was going to be there in the beginning, because half these folks don't give a damn about you. I don't know if you know this, but hopefully you do. Half these folks don't give a damn about you. So when you make sure that you have people that are in your physical life that give a damn about you, they care about your life. And like I stated, there is no way in the world when your father walks you down the aisle. There's no way in the world when you guys are going through dresses and you guys are going through event coordination, you guys are going through like what happens during the wedding and stuff like that. And let me know if you guys want to do reactions of wedding ceremonies, because I didn't love weddings before, but I actually started to grow loving it after I had one. But let me seriously though, take a look into yourself to realize, who do you want to be there? Because like I stated, it's not about religion. It's not about who was cheating with what gender. It's not about the salaciousness of it all. It's about the reality that who is going to be in your corner? Who gives a damn to wake you up and say, Stephanie, what in the world are you doing? And why did you accept from the first time that he disrespected you? Why did you accept this? And not only that, why didn't you and your family and everyone that was at the wedding, why didn't anyone show up at his parents' doorstep to literally just throw the trash at the parents? Because this person that you guys walked me into this marriage thinking that the 300 people, like she stated before, that was a part of this family, I'm going to throw your son or your wife to you, because this garbage pail that you gave to me, you return it to sender. I don't want it. The product is defective. But again, if you guys are walking around in this situation and you guys are putting on this armor of, oh, I'm this and I'm that and I don't do this and I need to be a traditional this and submissive, this is what it's going to get you. Okay? And I don't want that. Well, I can't tell you what I don't want for you, because like I stated, a lot of folks are walking around here in a daze of confusion. They want to be dictated based off of folks that don't live their everyday lifestyle with them. I don't know why, but that's you. So let me know down below in the comment section. This whole thing has thrown me off. This has really thrown me off. But let me know in the comment section, what will you want as far as your relationship? What do you want in your marriage? And again, I'm telling you now, this is not all religious folks. These are not all pastors. These are not all modern folks that end up in marriage. These are not all traditional folks. These aren't all submissive wives. But guys, you need to understand who you are as an individual, because you guys are putting your lives, your own personal life, into the hand of other people. Either people that are online, people that are in the churches, people that are in your family. You're handing your life to someone else when they themselves don't even have their lives in order. Stop handing your life to other people. That's the only thing. If I can ask you anything else, I'm asking you, stop putting your life in someone else's hands. I want you to care about yourself. Forget what anybody else is doing out here. I want you to care about yourself. It's not even a conversation about self-love and things like that. I'm sure Stephanie had a lot of self-love and she still ended up with this. When you find yourself and you understand who you are as an individual, and it does not mean you need to be this specific age or that age or this money or this. When you understand who you are as a person, folks can't shift you. Like, they honestly can't. So when you're walking into a relationship and you're walking into a marriage, you wholeheartedly understand who you are as an individual. You're more than open to have your heart on the sleeve because you are married. You're open. You're more than happy to be vulnerable and open. And it's not even a conversation about being vulnerable, because at the end of the day, you're being yourself in front of your spouse. You're being yourself in front of your husband or your wife, and it's the most beautiful thing ever. But I need you to care about yourself first, because a lot of you guys do not care about yourself. Because if you did, you would stop with these emergencies. I need to get married overnight, because you would understand you are walking into the devil's den. You're walking into the devil's playground, and you have the Pied Piper, those that are on the internet, those that are physically at your churches, that are there, that are asking you, your auntie or your cousin that's asking you, so when are you getting married? So when are you doing this? So what's going on with your life? Those folks are the Pied Piper that's walking you into the devil's den that they've already made contracts with. Okay? And I'm not the most like spiritual person and stuff, but I understand when I can hear the idea of folks. Folks do not mean you well. Wake up and understand. When these people are telling you about opening up and getting into these emergency situation marriages, you need to understand whether or not they're even legally married. Like I said, the most spiritual folks, they be fighting for their lives. You need to understand whether or not they even talk about their spouse in a good manner. A lot of these folks, you listen to the way that they talk about their spouse, it sounds like, well, damn, child, I don't want to be at home either. This sounds horrible. But that's the type of environment that they both have settled in. And then you also need to look into the situation, whether or not take them away, but take away what is it that you want. I'm asking you guys again, what is it that you want? That's why we are hoping that we hone in this conversation. That's what we're looking for as far as the tribe to continue this. But guys, unfortunately, I also got to let you guys know this too, as far as both of us. There are a lot of things that we cannot go back and forth on, because we do understand people are adults and they're consenting adults. So when we bring these stories, we do not bring these stories as a haha moment. Like I stated, these people have families, and I never want to be laughing at someone's family that, look at you, your family failed. That's foul. I'd never do that. But especially when we're bringing in these stories, is so that you can take on heed and understanding. And we also understand that a lot of folks are following people that are walking them into the devil's den. No, it's fine, Queen. It's totally fine. But again, understand, like I said, I don't want this for you, but I don't know. You probably do want it for yourself. There are more than enough relationships, more than enough marriages that are not going through any of these type of turmoils. But if you are walking around here, and folks, men and women themselves, tell you do not walk around in a fairy tale land, because they tell you that they are not going to be the frog that turns into the prince. They are the frogs. They are not going to be your knight in shining armor, because they will watch you be brutalized, vandalized, attacked, and they will sit there and say, well, you shouldn't have worn that dress. Or they will say, you shouldn't have worn your hair that way. A lot of these folks, like I stated, if you don't give a damn about yourself, these folks don't give a damn about you either. So until next time, guys, again, make sure, again, please let me know down in the comment section what type of marriage or what type of relationship you see yourself being into. There are some phenomenal men and women that are out there that have some phenomenal hearts. Just make sure that you understand. You need to have all your eyes open. Don't play with people, okay? Until next time, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Good evening.